Oh, that's a trip. I wonder why that's going on in the background like that. I saw that this morning. I wonder what that is. Someone was trying to do something fancy with the show. Let me see if I can stop that. I can't stop that.
That's okay. We just got the adaptive games in the back.
Just running the whole time in the back. I might have to call Susan and be like, yo, what's up? I wonder what happened. I've never seen that before. What if I make us bigger like this? What if I do that?
There you go. Oh.
You can hear me good though?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Hey, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thank you.
I watched one of your podcasts the other day, or actually last night, while sitting on the couch nursing my back. And I heard you say something about basically how you hadn't been injured during swimming, and it wasn't until you started lifting weights that one time you were like, okay, I'm out for a month.
Yeah, but it was like, I don't know. It was like, I mean, I think I said on the podcast, like, it was something so stupid. I wasn't even like deadlifting. It was like snatches and like box jumps. I was like, what's that? But I was down for the count. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so scary.
Yeah, I was sitting on the couch.
And you just hurt your back.
And I just hurt my back. I mean, I was watching my kids' jiu-jitsu class. I had played tennis for an hour, and then I went and sat down somewhere for an hour, and my whole back seized up. Yeah. So if you see me fidget a lot, that's what I'm doing.
It's okay. I get that.
Swimming, man, swim. No, is that really true? No injuries in 31 years of swimming from swimming?
In high school, I had like a little bit of maybe some tendonitis stuff going on, but it was like very short-lived. Like, I feel like maybe a year of my life, and I took some ibuprofen and that was it. And then like freak accidents, like my sophomore, I think maybe my junior year of college, we went on a training trip, and I was getting out of the pool after practice and like stepped on like this metal plate, like metal cap on the ground, and my ankle just went funny and I like broke my foot. But I mean, I was able to still swim through that. So
oh, that's crazy. You know, my son just broke his toe recently, jumped and hit a rock with his toe. And for like 2 months, he kept swimming. But then the broken toe, because it said it didn't bother him when he swam, but the toe's been broken now for 5 months. So we've stopped him even swimming.
Oh my.
But yeah, it's crazy what you can work through in the water, right?
Yeah.
Did you put one of those things between your leg? He put this thing between his leg up high on his crotch.
The pool buoy.
Yeah, the pool buoy to stop while his toe was broken.
Yeah, I had to do that for a while, but couldn't do like flip turns, like push off the wall, but I dealt with it. So,
by the way, my name's Sevon.
I'm Kaitlyn. Nice to officially meet.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. And you popped up on my radar because you were on a great podcast with these two gentlemen. I think it's called the Coming Up podcast. Coming Up.
Coach 'em up.
Coach 'em up. Coach 'em up. Coach 'em up. Excuse me. And I've been taking a lot of NyQuil at night. Maybe it's a little residual in my brain.
Yeah.
And you talked about your, you know, obviously your journey, and it sounds like you know those guys. So they knew your background. You trained with those guys.
I just moved to Austin like almost 4 months ago now. So I just met them at the gym. I didn't know them previously.
Is it their gym where you train at?
No, it was just kind of like a fancy gym. So we just all go there.
Gotcha. So they're not coaches there either. They're participants.
Zach is actually one of the women's basketball coaches at the University of Texas. And so I don't see him too much because he's so busy with work. But the other one, yes, he was a coach at the gym I go to, but he just switched it recently, like a couple weeks ago, to a new gym. So I haven't seen him lately.
And what's the name of the gym?
Collective.
Is it a CrossFit gym? What kind of gym is it?
It is not a CrossFit gym. They have they have 2 locations. And one of the locations does have like a CrossFit style room, but it's really just like a regular, I don't want to call it like a Globo gym, but it's just like a regular gym. So they have like platforms and stuff, but it's like very nice. So they have like a co-working space, like a recovery area with cold plunges and saunas and stuff like that. So they kind of have just a little bit of everything. They have a couple classes throughout the day, every day, but it's kind of just like a gym for anybody.
Are you still going there?
Yeah.
So that's become your home gym. And how long have you been going there?
Like 3 months. I started going there as soon as I moved to Texas. So I came from a CrossFit gym. Obviously I was doing CrossFit, but I was like, don't necessarily want to get back into competing in CrossFit. Like I had been out of it for some time. And I was like, I know if I go to a CrossFit gym, like I'll get sucked into competing. And I didn't want to do that. So I was like, I'm just going to go to like this basic gym, do my own thing. Like I could still do CrossFit style workouts because there's space available for that. But I don't have to like, I do it by myself. So I don't have to like compare myself to other people in the gym or get sucked into like competing, stuff like that. So just still do CrossFit, but just on my own.
Right. And how long have you been in Austin?
Probably 4 months at the end of this month.
Oh, okay. So very new.
Yes.
All right. I want to go back to, I want to get to that story about how CrossFit intersected with your life and how it kind of gave you, the inspiration or, one more shot for qualifying for the Olympic trials, which is a great story. That was the story that popped on my radar. I was like, holy cow. And we love these stories, being in the CrossFit space because we see them, we see people who take second place in something. And then all of a sudden they do CrossFit and it gives them the edge. Or we hear people who, did 4 years of kinesiology in college and then do the level 1 for 2 days. And they're like, holy shit, why didn't they teach me this in college, this practical stuff? But you have a very fascinating life. I think that's going to, help a lot of people, parents and kids and people who want longevity in moving their body. You're 35?
Yes.
Yeah, what an incredible story you have.
Thank you so much.
At 4 years old, your parents tossed you in the pool?
Yeah. So I have an older brother who's 7 years older than me. And we grew up with a swimming pool. So I think it was just like, and there was a pond, we also had like a huge pond. So swimming was just, my parents can swim to survive, but there's nobody else in my family that swims competitively or that swam competitively. So I think just learning how to swim was like something they felt that we needed to know how to do. But my brother was on the swim team. So, and as a kid, you just kind of like do everything. Right. So, but swimming was the one that I was obviously pretty good at. So
do you remember how to swim or in your memory, did you always swim? Did you always know how to swim? Do you remember the first person who taught you how to swim? Like someone held you in a pool and they're like, okay, Kaitlyn, hold your breath.
No, I don't really remember that. I do because you have to go through like the swim classes, right? When you're like learning how to swim. So I remember I was on like the very last one, like before you're allowed to go on the swim team. And obviously it's the hardest, but I was like very good at that point, I guess. And so like I kind of skipped that one and just went on to the swim team. So I do remember like when I was like that little, like practices weren't super long, but I used to be like, oh, my stomach hurts. Oh, I'm cold. Like, I was 4, right? 4 or 5, like, super young. Right. And I'd like go out and like stand in the shower during practice and skip some stuff. So I do remember that.
But you don't ever remember surfing, like a lot of it. Like I remember being a little kid, not knowing how to swim and holding the side of the pool until someone like was like, hey, I'm going to teach you how to swim. You're as far as you know, you were born knowing how to swim.
Yeah.
And float. Yeah. That's crazy. And rightfully so. If you have a pond and a pool at your house, and I don't know if you know this, but drowning, I think, is the #1 cause of death for kids under the age of 5 in the United States.
Right. Yeah. So it was a huge deal to definitely know how to swim.
Yeah. Crazy. Okay. So they put you in, the pool at 4 and, you're good at it, but you're still just a kid and you got the excuses not to go to practice or not to want to go in. And did you just, and it's in Pittsburgh. I don't think of Pittsburgh as a place, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, outskirts.
Yeah. Like an hour south of Pittsburgh.
God, when I think of Pennsylvania, I don't think of anyone owning a pool, but you guys had a pool.
Well, I know, because like the weather and stuff, right? But actually Pennsylvania is like a huge swimming state.
Okay. And so in the pond, you lived in a rural area, you had a pond?
Yeah. So like an hour south of Pittsburgh. So more rural, smaller-ish town. Not like city like Pittsburgh, but so there was like one pool to train at. So I went to the YMCA. So I didn't have a whole lot of options, but we made it work.
And if you grow up in a pond, you don't get the EBGBs easy. Meaning
I did not swim in the pond. Okay. It was like the land that we lived at, that my parents built our house on, was in the family. So like my mom grew up swimming in that pond, but I would never swim in that pond. Absolutely
not. Leeches in the pond? Are there leeches in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, there's leeches. I don't know if there's leeches. There's definitely like fish in there, like snapping turtles and that kind of thing. So like, that's not for me. I'll fish in the pond, but I will not swim in that pond. I like swimming in open water, but not that pond.
Do your parents still have the house?
Yes. Well, my brother and his family have moved into it now. My parents are in their 70s, so they've downsized.
Yeah.
But my brother and his family live there now.
Does he have kids?
Yeah, 2 little boys.
Oh, so you're an aunt.
Yeah.
And you don't have kids yet,
I do not know.
but you're an aunt. You like being an aunt?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I'm far away from them now because they're obviously back in Pennsylvania, but they're the sweetest little boys.
You think you'll go back to Pennsylvania?
I hate to say no, but no, no.
You like something about Austin? Is it the weather, the people?
Oh, yeah, the weather for sure.
Mm.
I mean, I have so many friends up north, but yeah, I'm just not a winter person. Although I say that, and it's like 32 degrees here today and like very cloudy, but we'll have a sunny day this weekend, so it'll be fine.
So you start swimming at 4, and is it continuous from 4 to all the way through college? Do you ever take a break?
No. I swam from age 4, swam all through high school into college, and kept swimming the 4 years after college or 5 years, I guess, after college until Olympic trials in 2016.
And just to put that in perspective, that means pretty much a week doesn't go by that you don't get in a pool.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, maybe after like, maybe in like college or like going on vacation, like, yeah, like a week, but there was never any time off really.
Did you ever want to quit in all those years?
No, I don't think so. I think maybe when I was like running into the little bit of like shoulder issues, just because I had never dealt with it before, I was like, what is this? Like, this really sucks, because I was used to just like training the way I wanted to train, and it affected that for a little bit, and I had a hard time with it, but I never wanted to quit. Like, I've always loved swimming. So.
And what year was that in your kind of swimming career?
I want to say that was like my senior year of high school and like my freshman year of college, because I remember we went on our training trip in my freshman year of college, and I'd like never swam long course, like never really swam that much in my life. And so it like really flared up. But like I said, it just kind of ended up going away. I don't remember necessarily doing anything for it, but it ended up being fine. So
what's long course?
Long course is like what you swim in, what you see them swimming in the Olympics. So it's like, if you go to your backyard pool, it's probably or like neighborhood pool, it's probably 25 yards. So it's shorter, but Olympics is long course meters rather than yards. So it's 50 meters.
So it's twice. So you kick off the wall half as much.
Yes.
On long course. Okay. Wow. That's a big difference. If you'd never, when was the first time you ever did that?
Like I like most people do this because they just have access to those pools, but we didn't in Pennsylvania where I was from. So it wasn't until my freshman year of college.
Wow. Wow. Even when you went to swim meets in high school, you didn't, the pool, you didn't do it.
Like in swimming, there's like growing up, I don't know if this is still the case, but there was YMCA swimming. And then there was like USA swimming, which was like club swimming. So if you swam club, you had more opportunities to swim long course, but YMCA, there wasn't really any. It was always short course, because I don't think there's too many YMCAs, I guess, maybe with long course pools, but I don't know. That was just the case. And I just never done it.
This is going to be a really naive question. Which gives you faster times?
Well, faster times would be short course, because it's ultimately shorter, like yards are less than meters. Like it's ultimately shorter. Okay. So the times are going to be faster in yards, but that's not, I guess it is kind of a big difference, like in the
because
for sure.
Because you're kicking off the wall twice as much, right? Is that, I mean, does that help you, or does that slow you down when you kick off the wall?
I'm better long course because I don't have very good walls. Like I'm not very good at underwaters. So I prefer long course, but people who are good at underwaters, yeah, like short course, they can just like knock it out of the park, because you just have so much help with the walls.
So it worked out good for you to be kind of in the harder situation for you and then go to the place. Okay. Wow. That's awesome. And tell me about your parents' support during all of this. Were your parents always supportive? How do you keep a kid doing a sport all those years?
My parents were like so supportive. My dad worked a lot and like traveled for work. So he would come to the swim meets when he could, but my mom like never missed a swim meet growing up, like would sit and take me to these invitationals and stay there like all day, and swim meets are not fun. I have learned as I've gotten older and had to watch them myself. I was like, oh, God bless my mom for like doing this her whole life, because this is not the way I want to spend my Saturday afternoon. But I don't know. I just like, I feel like you have parents, and I think maybe this is also like my parents were never swimmers, or like, I mean, there's people in my family who are gifted in sports like basketball and stuff like that, but never swimming. So they weren't very like pushy, I will say. You know what I mean? Like some people, I feel like some parents maybe like live through their kids playing sports and like
Yes,
didn't
me.
have any of that.
Yeah.
So there wasn't any like pressure. Like the pressure that I did feel was like me putting that on myself. My mom and my parents were just like, if you're doing your best, like we're proud of you. Like we think you're great. So
And swimming's all year. There's no season.
it's pretty much all year. Because especially like I said, with the short course and the long course, like usually short course season is in the winter. Like this time of year, we're coming up on like the championship season. And then as soon as that's over, you go into long course season, and that championships will be in like August. So it's all year round.
Are you still involved in swimming?
I still swim, but I'm also just like training in the gym, kind of what I was doing before. So I'm not necessarily planning on racing anytime soon, but I still swim. So.
And you're not doing any coaching?
No.
Do you have aspirations to do that?
I don't, and no, I really don't. I've coached in the past. I had a GA position after college. I went to grad school, coached for a little bit there, coached some club swimming, like younger kids after that. And I've had like D1 offers for coaching, but I love to swim. I don't love to coach. So I feel like that's not for me. I mean, I like to help people. Like if somebody in the gym's like, hey, like I have a friend in the gym and he's doing training for an Ironman, and he's like, hey, will you go to the pool with me one day and like help me out? Like I'm happy to help like lower level, like improve. But as far as like college, I never really wanted to do that.
You don't want to stand by the pool and teach kids all day?
No.
I don't. Yeah, I don't blame you. Maybe when you're 45 or 55. Hey, what does that mean? You said you were you said G8. What's that?
I'm a graduate assistant.
Okay. What's that called? G8?
GA.
Yeah, that makes more sense. And when do you realize that you will be good at swimming? Do you know, like, when is it like, oh, did you ended up going to college? Obviously, you went to Clarion. I learned from the podcast I listened to. And is that a scholarship you get there?
Yes. Yeah. It was Division II. I had a full ride at Clarion, I believe, like from my freshman year, because when I went in, I was like already went into being on all the relays. So I got pretty lucky there.
And so when in high school, do you feel that pressure in high school? Like your freshman year in high school, when you're swimming, are you like, okay, I'm going to swim so well that I'm going to get a scholarship to college?
No, I don't really thought about it all that much. Like, again, like my parents weren't like, you need to swim in college so you can get this paid for. Like it was like, if you want to swim in college, great. If you don't want to swim in college, like that's fine too. Like if you're ready to be done with this, that's fine. But like in college or in high school, my high school team wasn't great at swimming. I don't want to say they weren't good at swimming, but like I didn't come from a very big like swimming program in high school. So that was more like having fun for me than like training. So it wasn't really until college that I was like, oh shoot. Like, I mean, I knew I was like good enough to get a scholarship and like come in the top, like went to state, like placed at state. So like I knew I was good. But it wasn't until college that I was like, oh shoot, like I can maybe be good at this.
Were you the best kid in your high school?
Yes.
And do you think that if there would have been someone there better, you would have been better? You think that maybe you didn't have a rabbit to chase? Yeah, you do think that, huh?
Yeah, because like growing up at like YMCA swimming, I always swim with the older kids. Like I raced for swim meets and stuff. Like you can move up in an age group, and I always did that. So I was like always swimming with older kids or swimming with the boys, or just like, and that was like part of it in college too. Like we trained with the boys, so I was like always chasing somebody. So.
Yeah, that's fascinating. And then so you go from high school and then you go to Clarion, and then you must not be the best person on the team anymore. When you show up there?
I improved because like I said, it was like the first time I'd ever trained. So like even my freshman year, I got a lot better. So I can't remember if they're in my events. I I think in the ice, because I swam butterfly and freestyle when I was in college. So I think the 100 butterfly, I went in ended up being the fastest. I can't remember if there was a girl faster than me in the sprint events or not, but I was like up there. So
when you're swimming and you go through puberty, do your strokes change? Like, do things change? Like, is it challenging for an athlete? Like, your body changes, arms and legs get longer, put on weight. Does that?
I was going to say, I feel like it varies because obviously it's different for everybody. So I know like girls like growing up were very skinny, and then obviously they developed, and like that did kind of slow them down.
Yeah.
But I've always been like, I mean, I've always been the same size regardless of what I was going through. So that might have helped too, and never had any issues there. It was just always the same for the most part.
So there was no hiccup for you?
Mm-mm.
Because, in gymnastics, obviously it's huge, especially men's gymnastics. Men go through a real goofy stage. And if you shoot up, 6 inches in a year in your male gymnast, but even in watching my kids jiu-jitsu, watching them lose their kind of their mobility, right?
Yeah.
Like they do the splits in all directions when they start. And then slowly, if they don't really focus on that, they'll lose that. And then your whole game, your whole style, everything changes. But you didn't have any of that.
Mm-mm.
You just stayed the course.
I did.
How tall are you?
5'7".
5'7". Okay. Did you have any crazy growth spurt? Like, did you go from 4'7" to 5'7" in a year?
Not that I recall. I don't think.
And did you have aspirations to go to the Olympics?
I mean, like in any sport that you're in, you obviously like, especially like watching Olympic trials on TV, like when I was little, every like 4 years or whatever, like, oh, that'd be so cool to be there. But it again wasn't until I went to college and got like so much better that I was like, oh, like maybe I can actually do it. Like,
yeah,
reality. So.
And you did have that. You're saying that from your senior year in high school to a freshman in college, you had a significant leap in your caliber of athlete you were, or your performance.
Yeah, and even from like, I mean, I think it's crazy. Like, so I'm a sprinter, but like my times going into college versus my senior year of college when I finished, it was like a 10-second drop in my 200 freestyle, like second drop in a 50 freestyle, 4 or 5 seconds, I think, in my 100 freestyle. So like in the sprint events, like that's a ton of time. So.
Why do you think that is? Is that normal for swimmers at that age? So how old you? That's like 18, 19. That's like 20, 21 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that is?
I mean, if you're good at a sport, like normally you're coming from like a higher level program. And I just like never had that growing up. So I think it was just like actually training and having a coach and like learning and having people to push me who were better than me. And so I think it was just like a perfect storm of like everything that I had never had access to before. So.
And you mentioned that you weren't, you learned, which I'm going to say late in your career, although, you were still young, about fueling, that you just weren't eating enough, that you weren't fueling enough. Did that play a role in that?
I feel like in college, it wasn't that, I mean, looking back, like, could I have probably like partied less and like ate a little healthier and maybe been even better in college, but it's all worked out for me. So I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But like after college, when I did run into like where I was swimming a lot, and I don't want to say like went through an eating disorder, but definitely was not eating enough and just like couldn't keep up with how much I needed to eat, let alone like eating more than enough. So I feel like once I got a handle on that, it did help a lot. Because swimming is, I mean, you're burning so many calories when you swim. So.
And when you talked about that in the other podcast, it really didn't sound like an eating disorder. It didn't sound like you were chasing some sort of body type or not. It just sounded just like you didn't realize how much fuel you were burning.
Well, right. And I just like, it's really hard. Like, I mean, people who do CrossFit would get it because like when you're in like a CrossFit competition, like it's really hard to like want to eat all that food that you need. And so back then, like I didn't even take any supplements. Like I didn't even take protein after practice. I drink like chocolate milk. Like I wasn't taking anything. So like I was just having to eat food. And I mean, even still, like I'm not swimming as much or training as much as I did before. And I'm still sometimes like, oh, I just like don't feel like eating this. I mean, like, could I go out and eat a pizza or like a cheeseburger? Like, yeah, that's great. But I'm trying to like keep it healthy, and that's not always like fun food to eat. So,
right. If you could give advice to kids who are coming up, what would you say that that's something to attack early? Like if you a 16-year-old athlete, hey, you know, give your eating a little more attention, try to eat cleaner. Like what advice would you give them?
I would say yes, but also I feel like times have changed like so much and like people are so much more aware or healthier now than they were like what 20 years ago. Like so I feel like that's already like ingrained in younger people at this point. Like people in college now are a heck of a lot different than I was in college at that age.
Mm.
So, but also just like not to put so much pressure on yourself. Like there were times where like I'd get so upset over like a little like tenth of a second and it's like that only makes it worse. And when you're so worried about such a small little bit of time, like all the best times that I had were when I was like having fun and not thinking about it.
Mm. And getting upset didn't help anything.
No, I mean, it never does.
Jeremy, wait. Okay, well, wait. I have a friend who lives in Texas, goes to a CrossFit gym and is training for an Ironman. Does she go to Razor Ranch CrossFit?
I do not. I haven't heard of that one.
Oh, well, I bet you lots of people in Austin are training for Ironman.
That's probably very true.
It's like a crazy fitness-oriented town, huh?
Yeah. Everybody's always doing something.
Yeah. I heard you. I think I heard you describe it as like there's kind of like a party crew, and then there's
Yeah.
like workout crew, and like
Yeah.
those are like kind of the two. Yeah, and then there's people who are like trying to go back and forth between the two.
Yeah.
You go to college, and this was the part, and I know nothing about swimming, so you got to help me out here. You had 28. You were an All-American in 28 different strokes categories. Explain swimming to me, how that works.
So when you get NCAAs in swimming, you're allowed to swim seven. You're only allowed to swim 7 events.
Okay.
That being 3 individual events and 4 relays. So because I was on all 4 relays all 4 years and also qualified for 3 events, like I qualified for the 7 event maximum all 4 years of college.
Freshman,
And
sophomore, junior, senior.
yeah,
Okay.
and placed in all of them. So that was how I got the 28 time.
Is that, and that is in all of them. But do the math for me on that. So if I got 3 and 7, that's 10 times 4. Wouldn't that be 40?
No, 7 events total. So 3 events individually and 4 relays.
7 times 4. Okay, I could do that math. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I got super lucky with a great group of girls that, I mean, because the relays are what got most of them. So I got, especially with like people graduating and stuff, because when I went in my freshman year, I was on relays with like a lot of seniors, like older girls. But even as they phased out, like newer, younger girls came in and they were fast as well. So I got really lucky there.
Tell me the 3 individual events you did.
The 50 free, the 100 free, and the 100 butterfly.
So free and butterfly, just for simple for me. And what are the other strokes? What other strokes are there?
Breaststroke and backstroke.
And you didn't do those?
No.
How come? How come you didn't do those too?
I'm just not very good at them.
Is the guy who is good at, is there one that's just ass? You're like, someone's like, shit, I'm so good at the backstroke. This sucks. I don't want to do that one.
I would say backstroke and breaststroke. Well, everyone says like butterfly is the hardest, but I would always pick butterfly over breaststroke or backstroke.
Yeah. I don't ever remember seeing, like, those aren't the ones you see, I feel like, on the Olympics. Like, it's always like freestyle.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
there's
they get all the glory.
freestyle events than the stroke events, but
What's the fastest stroke?
freestyle. Well, freestyle.
So the fastest time anyone's ever swam in the water, like 100 meters, is the freestyle stroke?
Yeah.
Yeah. The backstroke looks cool. Just kind of
Yeah.
a weird. Yeah, it looks cool. Looks cool. Breaststroke's a little weird. That's the one I do. That's the one. I always feel like breaststroke's the one you do if you don't know how to swim.
Yeah, that's true.
So you go in there and what does it mean to be an All-American? What is that? What level do you have to get that title? Like, what do you have to win? Is there some competition you have to win?
It's how you place at NCAAs.
And that's the college national championships.
Yes.
And where do you have to place in it to get that designation All-American?
Top 16.
Wow. So you were top 16 in the country. at the end of every season in all 7 events 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
And what your senior year, what was the very last event you did?
The 100 freestyle, and that was the highest placing that I ever got at NCAAs.
Wow. So you're at 27 and there's one event. Are you tripping? Do you know? Are you like, shit, if I don't finish top 16 here, I'm not going to have a perfect record?
Yes. Well, not really the last event. So, there's usually like in swimming, you taper for like a mid-season meet in like December, and that gets you like your times, like where you're trying to qualify for NCAAs in February. So I went to a meet in December and all my times were like, first in the country. So I went into NCAAs in February, like the top seed. And so all I ever wanted was to be a national championship or to be a national champion, because at our school, if you won, or if you got top 3, I guess it was, if you got top 3, you got your picture on the wall. So I always
like in the gym or something. In the gym or in the hallway? Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, in the hallway. So like we would run, like work out in the morning, do like run past all the All-Americans on the wall. And so I always wanted my picture on the wall. And so my senior year, I was like, oh, this is it. Like I'm going first in all these, like I'm going to be a national champion. This is going to be it. So I put like a lot of pressure on myself. And the first event at NCAAs that year was the 50. But obviously like that one, if you get in your head and mess like one little thing up, like that's just it. And that's my favorite, like that's my baby event. So I ended up getting like 5th in that one. So the meet did not start off how I wanted it to. And then the butterfly, I think ended up getting 3rd in the 100 fly that year. So like, technically I'd already got my picture on the wall with that. And so the 100 free, which is like my least favorite event, there's prelims and finals at that meet. So in prelims, I got first. So I was seated first going into finals. So at that point I was just like having fun. So.
And what place did you end up getting?
2nd, but the girl that beat me was foreign. So I like to say I was the first American.
Wow. Oh, this isn't, do you pee in the pool?
Yes.
I haven't. Oh yeah. Who doesn't? Right?
If you're a swimmer, you pee in the pool.
What'd you say?
If you're a swimmer, you pee in the pool.
Yeah. You're helping the water.
Are you?
I don't know. Let's just go. The worst, I take my kids swimming, a few days a week to a swim class, and I always just look at the pool and I'm like, okay, there's 100 new people in here every hour. That's 100 pees per hour. By the end of the day, there's been 4,000 pees in here.
Yeah, the community pools can be a little rough to think about.
Yeah, it should gross me out more than it should. You know what's funny too is, so I would take my kids swimming, right? And the first 2 years I take them swimming, they're always like, they'll be like, I have to go pee, and they'll get out of the pool. And now they don't do that. And I'm like, they figured it out. They've crossed the line. They've crossed the line. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. I wonder, I should talk to the coach about that. I wonder if I never even hear them say, hey, if you have to pee, get out of the pool. I feel like I used to hear that when I was a kid.
Like coaches kind of give you shit. If you're like, I got to get out to go to the bathroom, they kind of like roll their eyes and you're like, okay, well, if it's going to be all that, I'm just going to pee in the pool then.
Right.
And there's like in swimming, there's like not a lot of downtime like between sets. So like you're either missing part of the set to go to the bathroom, or you're like rushing and you have to like take your suit off. It's a whole thing. So it's just easier.
Yeah. Do you have is there a suit that's like been your favorite suits your whole life? Like a kind of suit you like?
Yes, I wear, for like practice or for racing?
Oh, it's different.
Yeah. So there's like a racing suit, like a special material.
Like what's your favorite suit just to practice in? You're like, hey, I'm going to go train swimming. Yeah. What's your favorite suit?
I usually wear a Jolin clothing swim brand.
Yeah. And why do you like it? The way it fits, or?
They're fun prints.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And pretty colors, and they hold up really well. So.
And then I heard you mention that in the podcast that you had one of the times that you kind of came out of retirement, you snuck into a meet, you had to wear you couldn't wear your old racing suit because they disintegrate. Like they don't have a life expectancy.
No, you could. I mean, you can wear them for multiple meets, but like they're such like a thin material, like they say, and like the chlorine, obvious, like every time it gets wet, it's like a use. And like you're wearing it for warm up, you're wearing it to cool down, you're wearing it to race. So like if you swim multiple events like over the course of a 3-day meet, like you kind of have to get it. Like, you don't have to get a new one, but like, it was so old. I had worn it so many times. I was like, it was, I don't know. So I just like borrowed a girl's suit. Yeah.
Are there any suits where it's just wear once, throw away? Like I've seen shoes like that now for people who want to like break world records, like a shoe you wear once, you run, and it's done.
I mean, no, I wouldn't say that, but like these suits, like they're obviously like $600 and they're so thin, like trying to get them on with like nails, like, and they're so tight, you have to like inch them up your skin. And like, at Olympic trials, I ripped like 3 suits in a row without even getting it fully at my body. And I was like, great, wonderful.
No shit.
Yeah. I've like haven't ripped that many suits in my life. And I literally ripped 3 suits at Olympic trials before even getting it on my body.
So is that an $1,800 mistake?
It was an $1,800 mistake, but Tier was very good to me and replaced my suits every time. So
wow. So tell me that how soon before you go, when was this? This is a great story. Okay, so you get there and you just have 1 suit with you?
So they had sent me a suit prior to getting to Olympic trials, and I wear like a closed back suit, so it comes up. I'm sorry. It like some have an open back and they're a little bit easier to get on, but the one that I like to wear for sprint events is like completely closed all the way up to your lats. So like I have to get that over my butt, right? Like,
yeah. And so your butt and lats got big because you started doing CrossFit, right?
Right, exactly. So my CrossFit body does not quite fit in this swimsuit. Yeah. And so like I like to try it on and like stretch it out before I actually have to put it on when I'm wet, like before a race. So I had tried it on at home and ripped it at home, like just trying it on for fun. And I was like, oh no, like I really don't want to tell them that I ripped this like without even using it. I was like, maybe I'll use it. But then they ended up giving me another one. I was like, thank God. So again, I wanted to try it on and I ripped it again. And so then they gave me a third one and I'm pretty sure I got that one on. But I didn't try. I was like, okay, I'm not trying it on anymore. We're just going to put it on race day and hope for the best. So
wow. So they really are minimalist, like in terms of the thickness and like it's just there to cover your body so you're not naked. That's it. Yeah, tell me about the Olympic trial. So that was this past June, you said?
Yes.
So tell me that story. Why did you do that? I thought I thought you were done swimming competitively, like competitively.
After, you mean like before I started?
Like this most recent one where it's like, hey, you weren't swimming, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're in the Olympic trials. Tell me that journey. How did you get to that?
Oh, right. So yes, I hadn't swam. Like swimming wasn't even part of anything. Like I hadn't swam for years at that point. I was just doing CrossFit, and then I decided I wanted to try. I like was training. People always like, "What are you training for?" I'm like, "I'm not training for anything. I just like working out." And I was like, you know what? You're right. If I'm doing,
sorry, who asks you that? Who asked you, what are you training for? Like people in the gym see how hard you're training and they're like, hey, what are you training for?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. So you train so hard and people see you doing.
And I do like extra stuff and people are like, oh, like, what are you training for? And I'd just be like, I'm just like doing it. I don't.
Okay. Do you ever ask people that? What are you training for?
No.
Yeah, I don't ask people that either, but it's interesting. That means you were doing something you trained so hard just for leisure that people were like, damn, what is this girl training for?
I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was like, you know what, maybe like, if I'm going to do all this, like maybe I'll try to do a CrossFit competition. So, obviously like Wodapalooza has a swim event. And so I was like, if I'm going to do any CrossFit event, like I want to do Wodapalooza where there's a swim event and I know I'll do well at it. So that's kind of when I like started swimming again, just like once a week. And I was like, okay, like where I was like had a beautiful pool. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, like I love swimming. Why not do this? So I was just swimming once a week. And then my friends were just like, it had probably been a few months of being back in the pool just once a week doing like drills and stuff. But my friends were out of town one weekend. It was like a nice weekend. And there was a little like kid, I don't want to say kids, but it was like high school kids, swim meet at the pool. And my old coach was like in charge of the club team. So I texted him, I was like, hey, could I get in on this swim meet this weekend? Like, can you sign me up? And he was like, yeah, sure. Like, what time do you want to be entered with? And I was like, I have no clue. Like something.
What time, meaning like what caliber of athletes?
Yeah. Like you have to be seated with like your time to be in like whatever heat. Okay. And I was like, I mean, I haven't raced or swam. I was like, I have no idea. So I think I entered it with like a 27 seconds or something like that. And this was long course. So like no walls. And
In
I
20,
think
you're saying you were get like that speed was people who swim 50 meters in 27 seconds. You jump in, you swim across, race over.
yes.
And Kaitlyn, one quick question. How did it pop on your radar? How did you even know there was a swim meet? You got an email from some email
Yeah,
list you're
just
on?
got an
Or?
email like from the pool saying like, oh, pool closures for this weekend. There's a swim meet.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think that's what it was.
Okay.
So yeah, it was like the week of the swim meet. I was like, hey, can I get in on this? And I don't even know why. Like, why would I do that? That I have no idea why I did that.
Were you
Uh,
nervous?
I was a little I mean, again, like it was like kids, so I wasn't nervous about that. But then I was also like, I have no idea what to expect. Like, I don't know. So I was like just having fun. Like I saw like a lot of old coaches that were there, like that I knew. So it was just kind of like catching up with people like officials and all this stuff. So it was just like fun to be back in that environment. So yeah, I dove in and I went like a 26.0, which was like one of my, or no, it was like a 20, it was a prelims finals meet. So I went like a 26.3 in the morning, which was like a really good time at that point. And it was like a 10th of a second off a 10th. I don't know what it was. It was a good time. And so then I was like, well, should I swim finals? Like I was really close to qualifying for this summer national meet. And I was like, I don't know. Even if I qualify, I'm not going to go. Am I? Like I've swam once. And everyone was like, you should do it. You should do it. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And so that's when I borrowed the suit from the girl and put the suit on. I ended up qualifying for a summer national meet that like 2 months later. And that was
so bear with me here. You jump in the pool in the morning, you get a good time. It qualifies you for some sort of race later on in the evening.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was swimming with kids. So obviously I was the fastest person there. So normally at those kind of meets, I don't like to swim finals and like take a spot away from like a younger kid who gets a second swim. But in this case, everyone was like, you should try to qualify. So I was like, okay, like, I guess I'll take this spot away. So yeah.
But it was the same day.
It was the same day. Yeah. So I like went
what
home.
What was wrong with the first suit you had? It
wasn't. I was wearing like an old, just a regular suit just to like see how I did. And so in the evening, that's when I put on like the fast racing suit.
Wow, crazy. And you did good in that too.
Yeah. So that's when I dropped like another however many tenths of seconds. And that's when I qualified for summer nationals for USA Swimming, which was like the Olympic trial cut for 2021. And I was like, oh shoot, I guess I'm back in this.
And was that first place there at that local meet that you did when you?
Yeah,
that was her. Wow. And was that your fastest? Did I hear you right in the podcast? That was your fastest. It was a 50 or a 100?
It was a 50. That race was not my fastest, but when I went to summer nationals that few months later that I had qualified for, the time that I swam there was my fastest time ever in life.
And so when you qualify, how do you start upping your swimming? Do you start swimming 4 or 5 days a week?
No, I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to like keep doing what I was doing. So yeah, like I went to the meet and I was like, well, what do I do? Like, I don't want to like swim too much because I'm not used to that. But just like taking it easy in the gym was like enough of a taper that I didn't really have to worry about the swimming too much.
And you had mentioned in these podcasts that you were doing, I think, Comp Train, Ben Bergeron's program.
Yes.
And that it just happened out of coincidence to coincide with you peaking for the meet.
Yeah, because the meet was it was funny because that year I went to Summer Nationals in California, flew home, and the very next week was the CrossFit Games. So I flew home to Pennsylvania and drove out to Madison for the CrossFit Games. Like they were right. I was home for like 2 days and then I left for the CrossFit Games to go watch, obviously.
So you were on this program that the elite athletes at Comp Train were on to help them peak for, open semifinals games. It happened to coincide with your swimming. And then you show up to where were the nationals that year?
Irvine, California.
Is that the one I saw you on Scott Schweitzer's podcast where you were actually in a stadium?
No, the one that was in the stadium was Olympic trials this past summer, was in an NFL stadium.
Okay. And did you do that one too? No.
Yes.
You did that one too. Okay, I got my stories confused. Okay, so that was the Olympic trials
this past summer. That was in the NFL stadium. Yes.
Okay, I'm confused. I lost my timeline. How many times have you done Olympic trials?
This one was my second one. I went back in 2016 before I started.
Okay. And the first story we were talking about was in what year?
The
The one
first
with
story.
the first story, the one where you went with the kiddies and then you
Oh, so that was like 20. That was probably 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got my timeline all jacked up.
That's
I got maybe it's all the Advil I took. I don't know. I got my look at I have trouble looking. They're making fun of me in the chat. I got my stories. I got my stories all mixed up. Okay. So either way, bear with me here. Oh, Matt's oh, thank you, Matt. You see, Matt came on and fixed the background. Oh, thank you, Matt. Oh, nope, it's back. Matt's the executive producer of the show. He was the one who got us scheduled, and so now he's on the back end trying to figure out why this video is playing.
Oh.
So you may see it come and go. Okay, so you and then you your best time there puts you in what place?
At Summer Nationals, that was like 13th place, I think. At Summer Nationals, which I think is the highest that I've ever placed there, even back when I was only swimming. And then at that point, so that was in July of 2022, but you can't qualify for Olympic trials until like a year and a half out or 2 years out. So I had to I got the time that I needed to qualify for Olympic trials, but I technically had to redo it within the time period. So I had to wait like 6 months. So later that year, I went to the US Open, and that was like the first swim meet that you could go to qualify for the 2024 Olympic trials.
Okay.
And so I ended up qualifying there.
I feel better for being confused now. Now I'm going to ask a question that's might be really dumb, but if I'm right with this question, I'm a genius. Are you telling me that there's something that's an Olympic trials meet that's not really an Olympic trials meet because it doesn't fit in the time before the Olympics? Is it still called an Olympic trials even though you wouldn't have a qualifying time? No. All right. Fuck. I'm not smart. All right. Fuck it. All right. I'm still lost. All right. All right. Fine. Okay. So you get this great time and you do it. And when you go out there, is your body different than all the other girls? Like we were saying, do you have a butt and lats and all the other girls have swam their asses off?
Yeah, there's actually a girl that I knew. She's been on the national team forever. She's like a year older than me, but she's always been like a very high level swimmer, but she's never actually made the Olympics. She's just been on the national team, but she was always like one of the more muscular girls in swimming. And she actually came up to me after the race, and like I knew her obviously, but she didn't know who I was. And she was like, "Girl," she's like, "what do you do for a workout? Do you just swim?" She's like, "You have big, huge muscles."
Oh, that's awesome. And were you stoked?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Olympic trial. Thank you, Scott. God,
yes.
I was freaking out. So okay, this word Olympic. So there's trial qualifiers and then the Olympic trials, and you did both.
Sorry, I misunderstood. Well,
no, it's me. You're doing fine. You're doing fine. It's me fucking everything up. So the one you went to the Olympic trials qualifier, which qualified you then for the Olympic trials.
Well, so any meet, you can qualify for the Olympic trials at any little rinky-dink meet as long as you get the time and it's in the qualifying period. So I could have gone to a meet in my backyard as long as it was a sanctioned event and qualified, but I technically qualified at the US Open.
Okay. I'm gonna pretend like I
You
understand.
just have to make the qualifying time in order to get to Olympic trials.
Dear listeners, the Sevon Network is hiring now. We badly need a sports reporter who can cover non-CrossFit sports, must have minimally basic understanding of the English language. How about fuck you? You during this whole period, you had at some point in your life you had a fiance?
I did, yes. That was back 2016, like prior to that.
So that's almost like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
There was in 2009, there was a girl at the CrossFit Games, and I remember her saying that her husband really did not like her doing CrossFit, and it ended up being a deal breaker, and they separated. And I've heard you tell that story. I think in the 3 podcasts that you've been on, it's like somehow come up cursory. But how does that go down? How does and yours was swimming? Your significant other didn't want you spending so much time. Can you explain that to me? I don't get it. Wouldn't that be a strong quality of yours and like something that like you're an eagle that soars and they would want it to nourish that?
Well, that might have been like part of it because so we swam together in college. That's how we met.
Oh, okay.
so he was a swimmer as well, but then he was younger than me. So I kept swimming, and he like graduated and moved on with his life, and I was still swimming. And so I think he felt like I should be done since he was done, or my life that I was living was different than the life he was living, and he didn't like it. I don't know what the issue was there, but then like as time went on, like again, he didn't support like the whole Olympic trials thing, thought it was a waste of time, like because I was never going to make the Olympics, so why do it? And then that whole thing was over, and I started doing CrossFit, and he's like, I don't know why you need to do this CrossFit. Like, why do you want to look like that? So it was just like, yeah, he just wanted me to be a certain person, and that's not me. Cause like you said, like this is who I am. And obviously there's somebody out there who would be really proud to be with somebody like me. So, yeah.
I still don't really understand it. Like, let's say you were into moving opium across the US-Mexican border. I'd be like, yo, Kaitlyn, I don't really want to be married to someone like that. That, you know, what if you die and then I'm going to be sad? And or what if you go to jail? You know what I mean? I don't want my house to get raided by the FBI. Like, I could just see like not wanting to, but I don't get the. You think that was really it?
I mean,
How do you get engaged to someone and not know? I mean, there was something obviously he liked about you that made you like an overachiever, someone who aspired for high goals or disciplined, or I just don't get it. I don't get it. I was trying to wrap my head around it. I was like, what could you possibly be?
I
Do
don't
you
know.
get it?
I mean, I do. There's obviously like I could sit here and talk a lot of shit on him, but he is a good person. And if you met him,
Yeah.
you'd be like, he's a good guy. So like, I'm not going to sit here and like bash him.
Right.
But I think that like he just looked at it as it was being very, very selfish, and that I was taking time away from our relationship to train, rather than like getting married and starting a family when we were 25. Which
Oh, okay. So
he just looked at it as being selfish, which if you're an athlete, like, yes, you do have to be selfish, but at the same time, like, I don't feel I'm a selfish, like, yes, as an athlete, like, yes, you have to be selfish. But if I'd had somebody who supported me, like maybe I would have been more willing to like compromise and things. I mean, there's tons of CrossFit athletes who have families and kids and make things work, and it works. But the fact that he was trying to control who I was and what I was doing and who I am, like that, I'm not going to compromise that.
how long were you with him?
6 years, 5 years, but we were always like long distance. Like I think in that, even when we got like it, we were probably together, like actually in the same place, maybe like 6 months total, less than a year for sure.
And so, do you have a boyfriend now?
No.
You know, is it? Do you not want a boyfriend?
No, I'm a boyfriend would be nice, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to go, like, I feel like somebody will come into my life when the time
Right.
is.
Right. But you're not opposed to it.
No.
No. Okay. You're not like, hey, I'm taking 3 years off.
Oh, no.
No. Yeah. Yeah. There should, I mean, my opinion is there should be guys out there who are type A overachievers who want a mate who's preoccupied and has her own shit that she wants to do nonstop. You know what I mean? So that he can do his shit nonstop.
Exactly. That's the way I
Yeah.
see it.
Like, yeah, there's like some guy who's like trying to import fucking baskets from China and become a fucking millionaire selling baskets in the US who would love to marry you because he's on the road 300 days a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if let me see what Andrew's saying. Okay, Andrew Hiller. This is a friend of mine. I always pull up his comments. He wanted you to be normal. The worst thing in life is to be the same as everyone else.
I like that, Hillary.
Yeah, you're definitely not normal. Yeah. Oh, what about a girlfriend? Would Elizabeth Disseldinger? Or what about a girlfriend?
No, we're gonna stick to the boys, but sorry, gals.
All right. How are you with other girls? Are you like a girl that like can hang out with other girls? Like some girls can't do that. Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, I have tons of gal pals.
Yeah, you seem like a girl who could have a lot of gal pals.
Yeah, girl's girl.
Yeah. How would you meet someone if you were like how do you think it's just going to happen like on aisle 7 at Whole Foods, or do you think it's going to happen in the gym, or do you do dating apps? How do you think you'll meet someone?
No, I've never had a dating app, and I will literally never have a dating app. And I am
Mhm.
so adamant that somebody will just appear in my life, and that's how it will work out. And maybe that's why I don't have a boyfriend,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
believe it. I do.
Holy shit, listen, ding dongs, you're the great. No, never a dating app, huh? You're old school. I love that. Like a guy
No.
has to walk up to you and be like, "Hi."
Yes.
Fucking crazy. Crazy. Hey, that is so awesome. Are you the only person you know in your age bracket that hasn't used a dating app?
I don't know.
Oh.
I mean, I guess. Yeah, my single friends maybe.
Are you religious?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Maybe I always thought like
I don't know. I've just like never been one of those people. Like, I know people were like, "Oh, it's fun to like get on date, like just go get a free dinner." And I'm like, I don't need a free dinner. Like, I'm not going on a date if it's not going any. Like, I've always been very, and maybe it was like being in a long distance relationship for 7 years, but like, I'm so fine on my own. Like, I don't need anybody to like entertain me. Like, I'm good on my own. Like, I don't need somebody to deal with if it's only going to last a month.
right. I had this friend who whenever he dated, like he'd meet these great girls and then he would break up with them. I'm like, "What's up? That girl was great. What's going on?" He's like, "I just don't see it going forward like in a marriage." You know what I mean? Like he would like project that far out. But you're not saying that. You would
No.
date someone, but you're not going to date someone just for the sake of just like, "Hey, I don't want to go to the movies by myself."
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. The reason why I asked if you were religious, I was like, I always think of, I mean, I don't go to church, but I think church would be a fucking like great place to meet someone. But also, it's kind of like, and this is just naive on my part, but it's almost like it takes like the mystery out of meeting someone if you use a dating app. It's like you're kind of like, I feel like you're cheating the first step. But I guess God could work through a dating app too.
Yeah. I don't know. I won't find out because I'm not downloading one.
Yeah. All right. You're not even tempted.
No.
Yeah, I've never had one either. I just hear people say swipe right, swipe left. I'm old though. I mean, they didn't have dating apps when I was
I don't want to, basically you're on there like, yes, you can look at your profile, but the first thing you're going to catch is like their photo. And it's like, I don't want to base it off that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you want to base it off of?
I don't know, like interaction in person.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to be like, obviously you make the profile yourself. So like you can put on there whatever you want.
Right.
So I'm not going to, I don't know.
Maybe you'd rather be at the grocery store and you see a guy helping an old lady out to her car and you're like, and then he looks over his shoulder and smiles at you and you're like, yep, that's the dude. Yes. My dad's going to love him. Do you want to get married and have kids? Is that like a vision of yours?
Yeah. I mean, my mom had me when she was 42, so I'm not like stressing it.
My wife had our twins when she was 43.
All right, great. See, that's perfect for me.
Yeah, just normal too. You know?
I hope it happens before that, but if it doesn't,
but here's the other thing too. You're really fit and you're healthy, and so like my wife had our twins at 43 and just normal. You know what I mean? Like just like oops, like we had sex on the couch while we're watching TV and we got twins. You know what I mean? Just like yeah, it's like yeah. All right, yeah, you're smart. All right, cool. Do your friends try to set you up with boys?
No.
No.
Huh. That's what I mean. I'm like, don't I have a friend that has a friend or something? Like,
yeah. Let me see. I'm trying to think. I don't really have any friends. I think. Do you think you think Austin would be home for you? You like it there?
Yeah, I love it here.
I don't really know the city, but I'm not a big fan of LA. I think LA like has a certain kind of person and there's a lot of posers in LA. And like even when they're like, I need to be so authentic and real. And I'm just like, God, you're such a fucking Hollywood cheese douche. I don't know Austin, but I picture Austin as kind of being like that. I don't get that vibe from you at all. But
I
like,
was actually talking to somebody about that the other day about how like they've lived in other cities and people are just like really fake. But I
yeah, they
feel like
can't shed it in LA.
yeah, but I feel like everybody I've met here have been like very genuine and nice. But I mean,
Good.
that's not
Yeah.
to say for the whole city, but
Yeah. And the town is just full of beautiful people too. It's like a hotbed for beautiful people.
Austin or LA?
Austin. No,
Oh.
LA, you can't even see anyone. Everyone's like got 10 layers of just shit on them. But Austin's a beautiful place. Like every time you go out, you're like, oh, these are beautiful people here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could go back to Pittsburgh and be just the fucking have your pick of the crop.
People aren't that friendly in Pittsburgh. I
Pittsburgh.
feel like they just like doing business in Pittsburgh.
You're right. You're right. I've been to Pittsburgh a couple times. You're right. Right. Okay. When you get these, when you win that event, did you know that final event, that 100? Did you know that would make you a 28-time All-American? Had
Yes.
someone pointed that out to you? Yeah. And the only other person who's ever done that is your head swim coach from your freshman and sophomore year?
I mean, at my school, yes.
Oh, but other people have done it.
I assume they have. I don't know the stats on that.
When you type in 28 time into Google, I think I did this last night, sitting on the couch, feeling sorry for myself because my back's so fucked up. I think it's just you, man. I think like you, yeah, you were the top. What are the chances someone searches that? But if you type in 28-time All-American, nothing else, it's you. It's a whole page of your shit.
Oh my gosh, that's funny, but
yeah, it's crazy. Oh, here's another one. Courtney. Oh, another swimmer.
Oh, great for Courtney.
Yeah. Do you know her? Courtney Sheely?
Courtney Sheely. No, I don't.
Yeah, two other swimmers. A Georgia. I don't know this chick's name. Maybe that's you, and I just don't recognize you. They don't have her name. Yeah. When you do that, do you have an agent?
No, I don't.
You don't have an agent. Do you want an agent?
I don't know. I feel like if I was to have an agent, I would have had one by now. So I
Yeah.
do pretty well with myself. So
Yeah. So I didn't even know you could swim with headphones on. That's how old I am. But you swim with headphones on, and then you swim with the, what are they called? ESC headphones. Yeah. So who gets you that deal if you don't have an agent? They just reach out to you?
Yeah. I mean, I had used headphones like forever, but then they came out with the swimming ones, and that's when they reached out to me about the sponsorship.
Yeah, that's crazy. They don't trap water in your ears when you put them in?
No, they're actually like the coolest things every single time I put them in, like it's like a concert underwater. Like literally, it's like the sound is so clear and it is like just so cool.
And they don't come out?
No, I mean, I can dive with them in and they stay in place. They don't even move.
And when you were in college, did you swim with headphones on?
No, I don't think that was a thing. They had like one of the pools I swam in had like an underwater sound system, but like you couldn't hear like music was playing, but you couldn't really hear it because it was like bubbly, you know?
God, that's crazy. Hey, are there rules about that? Is that frowned upon? Like if you're swimming, like could a kid do that? Like could you listen to an audiobook while you swim? Have you ever done that?
I haven't, but that's actually a really good idea.
How long is a really long swim session?
Usually practice is 2 hours, or if we're having like a long practice, like 2.5, and maybe like once a year, 3.
But do you ever jump in and like you just swim for 30 minutes without getting out of the pool, just nonstop?
I mean, I could, but no.
No, okay. I was gonna say, then it'd be great for an audiobook.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And so they just reach out to you, or do you reach out to them? How do you get that deal? How do you become one of their people?
They reached out to me.
Through Instagram.
Yep.
So if someone wants to date Kaitlyn or sponsor her, they could just reach out through Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about dating. Well,
no dating.
I'd have to sort through that, but
and long distance relationships, are those out?
No,
right. God, I like you. You're cool. Everything's just in play. Yeah, whatever. You're chilling.
Yeah.
And are you training for anything right now?
No, I'm not training for anything in particular. I just accidentally did TFX Pro team a couple weekends ago. Still think I'm recovering from that since that was not where I am right now. But swimming wise, I don't have anything on the calendar. A lot of people here do that high rocks, and I feel like
Yeah.
the CrossFit people have been doing high rocks. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. It's like a long chipper workout.
I love that, but
Yeah.
no plans for one of those yet either. But it's maybe on the back burner.
And how's your running?
I'm a pretty good runner.
Yeah, you run good. When you were swimming, did you guys do a lot of dry land training? How old were you when that was introduced to you?
It wasn't until my swim coach would, when I was in high school, would like take me to do like basic like bodybuilding stuff. But it wasn't until college that I actually started like a weight program, and we actually did CrossFit like my sophomore year, and that's when I got like a lot better. But my assistant coach would just like make up really hard workouts with a bunch of different movements and like call it CrossFit. So
And she would call it that, or he would call it that.
like, she'd steal stuff from like CrossFit.com. Like we used to do Fight Gone Bad, I remember.
Mhm.
But then like it wasn't every day. So she was just like making stuff up. And if it was hard, we were doing it.
Do you remember the first time you heard that word CrossFit? Like, was she the one who introduced it to you guys?
Yeah, because she had been doing CrossFit at that time. So she was the one that introduced it to us.
And did she look like a CrossFitter? Was she all jacked and shit?
She wasn't super jacked, but she was definitely in shape for having like 3 kids at that point. So
Yeah. And did you have any affinity towards it then? Like, did you like it? Like when you would do dry land training and you would do the CrossFit, did you like it?
yeah, I liked the CrossFit a lot. I mean, I still don't like squatting and stuff, but anything that was like running or upper body, like wall balls, like I liked all that stuff. So
Why don't you think you like squatting?
it's just like uncomfortable. Like we didn't do a whole bunch of squatting swimming. So like, I don't know, maybe my legs aren't that strong. I'm not good at it. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, is the movement just not like peaceful for you or smooth for you because you stayed in kind of this range of motion?
That's what I blame it on, but
Mhm.
I don't know.
Like really hardcore ultra runners and marathon guys, like I've seen them kind of try to dip into CrossFit, and the squatting part is really bizarre for them too. They have
Oh.
you know what I mean? Because they're just used to they're doing this while you're
Yeah.
doing that. Yeah, and their shit is yeah. But no, I like squatting. What do you mean? If someone said someone finally found a connection with Kaitlyn. I love squatting. Yeah. Can you see the chat flying by?
When it pops up, it can, but
Oh,
otherwise, no.
but not on your screen.
No.
It's quite a feisty crowd.
Oh,
So you think you'll do high rocks?
I don't know. It sounds fun.
Mm. I mean, shit. It does sound fun. I mean, when I think of high rocks, I think of it as just one long chipper. Like you go to the gym and there's a chipper there, and you hit
Yeah.
and you get it. Yeah, and you do it with your friends.
Yeah, I think it sounds like a good time.
Do you see friends every day? Like, do you have appointments to hang out with friends every day in Austin? You've been there 4 months. Like, do you have buddies?
I do. I laugh because it's like obviously you want to move and like make friends and stuff, but everybody's always doing something here. And like I like going out and doing things and being social, but I'm also like very much an introvert. So like I need a lot of downtime in between like hangouts. So like people be like, "Oh, you want to do this?" I'm like, I can't do something every night. We cannot do something every day, every night. Like I got a couple activities a week. That's it. So it's like everyone's all, and you like want to make friends, but sometimes I have to like be like, I can't tonight. I'm sorry, but thank you for the invite.
You don't want high maintenance friends. You just want like easy friends.
Yeah.
Hey, those are the best kind. That's good. You'll weed out all the high maintenance people. Suck.
Yeah.
They're horrible. Okay. We talked about body. Oh, let me just touch on this one more time. Body composition change. When did you notice? Did you ever have a period when you started doing CrossFit a lot and you're like in a 2-week period, you're like, what the?
Yeah. So it wasn't, so I was like training CrossFit and I was swimming and stuff. And I've basically been the same size like my whole life. And so it wasn't until I like actually started working. I work with Kelsey Keels, my nutrition coach.
Oh, shit. Small world. Wow.
Yeah. So it wasn't until I started working with her and she's like, yeah, you need to be eating more. And like, I mean, the goal was to get stronger. And she's like, if you want to get stronger, like for CrossFit, like you have to be eating more. And I was like, okay. And so then I don't want to say like, but that's when I started noticing like a big change. Like I definitely put on some weight doing CrossFit versus when I was down.
And did you put it in the places, shoulders, lats, and butt? Is that where it all?
Yeah. And my legs are Yeah, I'm just bigger all around, you know?
Yeah, and do you like it? Do you feel better?
I do feel, yeah, it was an adjustment at first, like not being the same size as before my whole life. Um,
Mhm.
and I go back and forth. Like when I was swimming, I was like when I was doing CrossFit, I was like, man, I wish I still had my swimming body. And then I was swimming and I was like, man, I miss my CrossFit body. And now I'm
Yeah,
like in
yeah,
between, like, I don't know, but it's fine. Yeah.
yeah. I get it. Does she use Matuthian to get those teeth that white?
I don't
Or
know
what do you brush with?
um Colgate Optic White, I've heard is the best for white
Colgate
teeth.
Optic White. Oh, so she hasn't gone full hippie yet. We'll see what happens to her. Colgate Optic White. All right. You need a little more time in Austin, and your friends will judge you for using a brand like that, and we'll get her into something that's in a brown cardboard box or something soon. All right. Yeah, great question. Kelsey's cool as shit. You fell into that's a good person.
Who's
Yeah,
Kelsey?
Kelsey Keel. Is that her name? Kelsey Keel.
Yeah,
Kelsey.
they spelled it differently and I was confused.
Oh,
Like Kelsey.
she's a great person. She's
Yeah,
yeah, that's good energy. You fall into a good crowd. Do you work out with her too?
I do not. I mean, we're very far apart at this point, but
She's not in Austin?
no, she's up in Ohio.
Oh, okay. Okay. For some reason I thought she's down there. Well, and how did you cross paths with her? How did she become your nutrition coach?
Um, Again, like she reached out to me and asked if I was working with anybody, and I said no, and I've never have. And she asked if I would want to, and I said, yeah, sure. So
She saw you on Instagram and she's like, I'll fix this girl's shit up.
yeah,
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know people did that.
I guess that's how
She
it works.
sees you on Instagram. She knows you're a CrossFitter too at the time? She knows you're CrossFitting?
Yeah. Well, I think it was oh no, it was before that. So I had done Wadapalooza team in 2023. And so I had started working with her. It was like a month before that she had reached out and she was like, let's like do this leading up to Wadapalooza, blah, blah, blah. So
Damn, that's crazy. When we showed up to Wadapalooza, had you packed on any like muscle up by that point, or did you show up there looking like a skinny little swimmer?
yeah, skinny little swimmer.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. That's awesome. Okay, let me see what else I got. And what's the when you were in college, what was the lightest you ever weighed? Do you know when you were swimming?
Probably like 125.
Okay, so that's not like beanpole.
Kind of.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I guess for and then how much do you weigh now?
140.
Oh, okay. And you're in how tall are you?
5'7".
Okay, you're kind of tall. I think that's kind of tall. You're taller than me.
Taller than probably most women, I guess.
Yeah, that's tall. Okay, so yeah, that's good. That's much healthier. 5'7", 140.
Yeah.
And when you qualified for the Olympic trials, how much did you weigh?
Probably like 135.
So and you think so that's probably like 10 pounds more of muscle, which conventional wisdom would be that you would have swam slower?
Right. So when I was training as a swimmer and I was like the 125, my coach always told me like, hey, being a sprinter, like these girls are big girls and you just don't weigh enough in the water to hold your own in the water, like with waves and stuff, you know, like sprinting. And I was like, yeah, you're right. But I mean, you're just swimming so much. And I just like could not keep up with, I couldn't even keep up with how much I needed to eat to maintain my weight, let alone gain weight.
Right.
So,
hey, does swimming have any gear? You know, like CrossFit has tons of gear, like yeah, like but any fun gear? I mean, I know you guys got like does anyone ever swim with like a weight vest on?
we have, so not a weight vest, we have like parachutes and bungee cords and we have like power towers, they call it, where it's like these big buckets and you strap it onto your waist and put water in the bucket. Or they have like weight plates, like a power rack that has, like at the gym, you have the different weight plates and you put the little thing in.
Yeah.
And then you band around your waist and swim with that. So there's different things.
Is any of it any good? Anything that's like, yeah, that was cool, that helped?
Oh yeah, like the power racks, the power towers, that kind of, like all those. I used most of my swim training when I was doing CrossFit and swimming like that. What it was like all power generating stuff.
All right. I just was thinking, God, I never seen anyone swim with like a weight vest on. So they'll put something behind you that kind of slows you down.
Yeah.
All right. And you ever do that stuff where you walk on the bottom of the pool, like holding weights and shit?
No, I've never done that stuff in like real swim training.
No, like
I
that
used to have
Navy
to,
SEAL stuff?
like vertical kick with medicine balls. That's like the hardest thing I've ever done in swimming.
What's that? You're basically treading water while holding a medicine ball?
Well, you have to hold the medicine ball like out of the water while you're kicking. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you ever try water polo?
I've never tried. No, we just like didn't where I was from growing up. Like we just didn't have water polo.
Would you have been good at it?
Um, I don't probably not. That's like again, that's like a lot of lower body like kicking and stuff to keep yourself up. I don't think that was for me. I have the upper body strength, so that's why I'm good at
Yeah.
swimming.
Let me see what else I got here. Talked about Pittsburgh. We talked about boys.
Boys.
We talked about the biggest leaps you made. So the biggest leaps you made were in college. That's like that should be motivating for people. Like your shit's not done. You can still get better from 20 to 25.
Yeah.
Even though you've been doing it since you've been 4. Say that again?
I said or 35.
Yeah, or 35. Oh, don't get carried away. Don't get carried away. Age matters.
Well, it's all you got to take care of yourself along the way, I guess. But
Scott, you and Scott Schweitzer were talking, and I was having trouble following it because I was probably like high on Advil and NyQuil. But did you swim in the meet that had the largest live audience in the history of swimming? You swam in that?
What? That was this year's Olympic trials that was in the NFL stadium, I believe.
Yeah, that's crazy that you got to do that. What an awesome story. How cool that Scott knew that too. He used to be a swimmer.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. You walk in there, and did you know it was going to be like that? 20,000 people watching you swim?
You don't really like think, and I had been to Olympic trials before, so like obviously it wasn't that big, but like I wasn't like starstruck by it, I guess you'd say. So I mean, it was cool.
But fun to see that many people appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that there were that many people watching me personally, like when I was swimming. No.
And so tell me, so had you ever seen that before inside of a stadium? Pools built just right on the field. What are they, like giant doughboy pools? They're above ground.
I mean, they usually like the Olympic trial pool they do every 4 years, come in and like build it somewhere, like build it up into wherever they have it. But this was the first time in a football stadium, and it was like so crazy to see. Like I was starstruck by that. Like, so the meet is like 10 days long, but my event wasn't until the last day. So I got there like over halfway into the meet. So everybody like probably already taken their pictures, done their thing. So I get there and I like go to warm up or whatever. And I'm like taking all these pictures. And one of the like lifeguards was like, "Are you gonna like get in or are you just gonna take pictures?" And I was like, "I'm gonna be taking the pictures, buddy." Like, are you looking?
Was he being rude?
I don't know. I mean, maybe I was taking several photos, but
I think he was hitting on you.
Well, that wasn't the way to do it.
All right. All right. I like it. And how did you end up doing it that one? Which was that the one that you got your best time?
No, I didn't get my best time at that one. I think I ended up 47th in the country. But I only swim once a week, so I think that's pretty good.
It's crazy. It's crazy. All right. Well, thank you for coming on. Great meeting you. Yeah, what a great story. What a great inspiration you are. Yeah, you're a wonderful person. It's cool that you've I just love the fact that you stayed capable at swimming, and then it just got reinvigorated and you just had the balls to go and do that and jump into that meet. I mean, a lot of people would not do that. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's gonna be fun to watch. You're one of the people I'm happy to follow on Instagram.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you around.
All right. See you later.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on, Kaitlyn.
Bye.
Bye. Kaitlyn is awesome. We shared some of the same coaches 20 years apart. Yeah, crazy. That was a great podcast you did with her, dude. That was a great podcast, Scott. Cool chick. 8 out of 10. God, I'm fucking brain dead right now. Oh shit. Oh my goodness. Thank you. to whoever sent me Kaitlyn's swim stats, and I didn't even, I wouldn't even know how to read these. She got second place in the 100-yard freestyle at 49.95 in the NCAA division, in the NCAA championships. Second place to third place and a third place. I don't know shit about swimming. Oh, in 2011, February 18th, she took first place in the 100-yard fly. I don't know what that is. I had 2 big shots of NyQuil before I went to bed 2 nights in a row. And I definitely feel it. That was cool. Susie came on and fixed that, whatever that shit was that was going on in the background. That shit was giving me a seizure. We'd already rescheduled her twice. I thought about rescheduling her because I didn't want to sit in this chair this morning. I don't want to talk about it, even though I'm talking about it. Do you need a massage? I need you to put your finger in my butt. Boy, that was cool hanging out with Jake the other day. I got to give you a call, Jake. We got to figure that out. I could drink a bottle of tequila and wake up better than 1 shot of NyQuil. Oh, is that really it? Yeah, you know what's crazy? So 2 nights ago, there's this other show. You know, I've been trying to watch this show, The Chosen. It's like the story of Jesus. It's like 4 seasons of like what Jesus did hanging with his homies. I'm on season 2. And some nights I watch 2 episodes, some nights I forget. But the other day I was laying in bed. This is not last night, but the night before when my back seized up. And I did a shot of NyQuil. You know how happy I was? I looked under the bathroom sink, and there was a bottle of like half-drank NyQuil. I didn't even know we own NyQuil. I was so happy. I was like, "Babe, can I drink this?" She's like, "Sure." And so I go on to Amazon Prime, and there's a show. It's called Jonathan and Jesus. Jonathan and Jesus, and it's the story of the dude who played Jesus in Chosen. If you should definitely watch. If you watch The Chosen, even if I don't know if you liked it or didn't like it. I don't know what there is to not like, but you have to see episode 1 of that documentary. The dude's poor as shit. He lives in an apartment building. He's the man. The way he pays his rent is he's the manager of the apartment building. So like while they're doing the documentary on him, they show him like vacuuming the hallways and like he's just poor. He's just a dude who's struggling to make ends meet, and he got this job playing Jesus on a TV show on Amazon. It's awesome. I can't wait to watch episode 2. Anyway, I took a shot of NyQuil, and while I was watching the show went in, like I got double vision. It was crazy. I didn't even, how like you can fix double vision when you have it, like you can like blink your eyes and shit, make it go away. I didn't do that. I just watched the whole show in double vision. I just enjoyed it. I think you guys started Sevi's conversion. Oh, Jesus. Save me, Lord, from my conversion. Dear Jesus, please save me from my conversion. I got something I want to read you guys. This is good. All right. I'll read you something good in 2 seconds. Let me see what's going on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the announcement of the open workout.
Here comes Haley Adams. The force is strong with Haley Adams. Here comes Austin Hatfield, and Austin Hatfield picks up his first semifinals event win. He is locking down the top spot. Roman Krennikov is reigning right now.
I'm your host, Rory McKernan.
Oh, baby!
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Chase Ingram.
It's going to be close.
All right, check that off of my schedule of open promotions to do so I can get paid by CrossFit. Thank you. Thank you. No one, for every person who signs up for the open, I get $5. So if 200,000 people sign up, I get $1 million. If I'm lying, I'm dying. This is the shit I've been trying to fucking tell you guys for 6 months that I couldn't fucking explain. Thank God for Sage Bergener. I got different ways of saying it, but whatever. But I thought this was good. Someone sent this to me the other day. What if there is no God? Okay. Slide 2, please. Thank you. Sometimes I'm struggling in my faith and I find comfort in exploring the worst case scenario. I don't know what that means, struggling in my faith, but I don't know what that means. But either way, let's go on. Maybe it resonates with some of you. I like to ask myself, Sage, if you fully committed to a life with Christ. I mean, I don't know how you're supposed to have a life with Christ when he's dead, and handed him your heart, but at the end it turns out that he wasn't even real, what would that matter for your life? Well, he's not real, because if he was real, someone would have pointed him and shown him to me. But either way, I still love what she wrote here. How could something be real? I mean, maybe it's real, but you'd have to go to his coffin and open it up and see him. And that would be weird. I don't even know what it means to give your heart. There's so much I don't understand that she's saying that's over my head, but whatever. It still is great what she writes. Here's what I concluded. Now, here's the part that I really like. Someone sent this to me. He was resurrected. Yeah, no matter how bad my back hurts, last night I was resurrected too. It was crazy. It's crazy. It's amazing what the penis is unstoppable. It's undefeated. I was resurrected. Okay, one, it would mean that I attempted to live a life where I believed that there was something greater than myself. And she says that's humility. I don't really get that one, but okay. But I like it. I just like all these. It would mean that I lived a life where I tried to emulate Jesus. That's awesome. I love that. Real or not, Jesus was incredible to everyone, regardless of how they treated him. Kindness. It's dope. Number 3, it would mean that I spent my life working to be more selfless than selfish, looking for ways I could serve others instead of being self-seeking or self-serving. Selflessness. I don't know. Maybe I'm delusional, but that's kind of my natural state. Maybe not. Yesterday I was pretty selfish, but I enjoyed it. But I like this. I just don't understand this. There's something unauthentic about looking for ways to serve others. There's something arrogant about that. Do you know what I mean? Instead of just serving others. There's this Taoist saying, only confused men make decisions. I feel like that really resonates with me. Jesus Christ. I sound like a fucking libtard. Anyway, still great. This is just all great stuff. Sage, what a great post she made. It would mean that I worked hard to find God's purpose for me, honing in on the spiritual gifts I was blessed with versus chasing purpose through achievements in sport, career, finances, etc. Yeah. I'm not a goal-oriented person like that, so I don't. Maybe I like it because it's describing how I am, but I like it. It would mean that I'm happiest when I'm in that state. Number 5, it would mean that I would be challenged in this life. I'd have to take responsibility for my character and my choices. You get it? Like, so if there is a God or a Jesus, it's like it's like someone watching you, like a yard duty, to make sure that you're being responsible and making good choices. I'd have to resist temptations and be brave in the internal and external battles of this world. Very nicely worded by Miss Bergener. Internal and external battles. And I'd have to work hard to find God in the suffering, endurance. God, it's good. So looking at this list, sorry. So looking at this list, at this life of humility, kindness, and selflessness, purpose, endurance of character, and so much more, I find comfort in knowing that if I get to the end of my life and it turns out God is not actually real, none of it was a waste. There's nothing to lose in the seeking of God and so much to gain. Yeah, I'm with you, girl. Just the shit. Be brave and hoping for him. Be vulnerable and loving him. It's not easy, but I know it's worth it. This is good. I didn't follow her. Now I do. And I like this lady too. I think I follow her. Yep. This is Kayvon, formerly known as Kev. Oh, thank you. You're a good dude. That's Kayvon Ogar's wife. Okay, let's just see what they're doing while we're here. Why not, right?
We listen. You gotta say it with me.
Oh, okay.
We listen and don't judge. I hide things on the top shelf because I know that you'll never get to them.
That seems fair.
We listen and don't judge.
I already showed that. That's good. That's good shit. Yeah, these are good people. They haven't been posting much. What's going on? Oh, look at. Okay, here. Let's do some game stuff. We are thrilled to announce the launch of the Adaptive Judges course, an exciting new opportunity for those looking to expand their skills in adaptive sports judging. Dude, I would do this. What if I signed up to be a judge and my back seized up? I would do this just to get like Matt. Why would you want to be a front row? Why would you want to be a judge of the games when you could judge the adaptive games and just be like right there looking at some dude's nub when he snatched 150 pounds? I'd rather think you could just stare all you want and like that's what you're supposed to do. No one's like, hey, stop staring at me. Sevon, you're out. You judge everyone. Oh. Dude, I'm not in a good. You sure you want to fuck with me this morning?
Oh my God, it's so much.
Do you know why I'm not in a good mood?
Your back?
It's not really my back. That wouldn't be really. It's I'm holding my breath.
You are? Why?
Because when it hurts, I hold my breath, and when I'm not breathing, like usually I just am paying so much attention to my breathing all day long that that's why I'm so cool, because I'm just a breath watcher.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
I'm a breath watcher, and now when I catch myself and I just kind of like my life flows with my breath, and now my back's all tight and it's fucking up my breathing. Talking's so hard because it's hard for me to talk and watch my breath and not hold my breath. I got all sorts of excuses.
Does the camera work now?
I can turn the camera on.
Oh.
You want to be on the show?
Yeah.
Bam, you're on it. Anyway, it sounds like you could be a judge over at Wheelwad, which is cool. And then they got their. Oh, they got. Oh yeah, I think.
Hi, I'm Nigel. I'm the gym dog. I work at the best gym in the world, CrossFit Watchtower. Whoa. Okay, I'm back. I have a lot of duties here. Oh shoot, wrong clip. Sorry about that. Back to what I was saying about my job at CrossFit Watchtower. I do a lot. I get the trash. Well, carry it at least. I also help with security. I'm very stealthy. Sort of. But mainly I check on people. I'm pretty much a doctor. I don't have any formal training, but everyone seems to be better after they see me. So I'll take that 100% success rate. The humans move around a lot and they need help at the end. Or sometimes they're just having a bad day. CrossFit helps that too. We love people. Any people. Every people. They all come to see me and I don't blame them. Yeah, it's kind of the greatest job ever. Everyone works out together even if they don't want to use their legs. Like my dad. But this place is more than a gym. It's family. My family. People come for fitness and the community. Yeah, I'll take the credit for that. Ha ha!
How did that one not? That should have been the $5,000. Jesus.
What?
Nothing. I'm just tripping. I just had my worst interview ever.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's because I took too much cough medicine last night.
Sucks.
Let's discuss Roy stunts.
Me?
No, just be a good co-host. Just chill.
Chill?
Yeah, you just chill.
I'm a kid. I can't chill.
Let's discuss Royce Duns. This is a promo video he made. Royce, I've met Royce. He is a gentleman, a class act. I don't know if I've ever had him on the podcast.
Mom,
I really like him. I like Australians. I think I've never been to Torian Pro, but I've heard it's a great event. He's a diehard CrossFitter through and through. He does mayhem programming. Ow.
You okay?
Yeah, you saw that. He does mayhem. I just had electricity shoot up my side. He does mayhem programming. Anything having to do with Rich Froning is good. He's a large man.
Cry.
You're gonna cry?
I need to. I have sleepy eyes.
Oh, just wipe the sleep out of your eyes. Okay, so let's listen to this. Okay, here we go. Oh wait, wait. Sorry. Let me see. Restart that. Here we go.
Dave, let's be real.
Dave, let's be real.
CrossFit Torian is the only place to host the 2025 Open announcement, and we've got 3 reasons why. Torian Pro, yeah, you've heard of it.
So, what I found interesting about this is he's telling Dave, hey, this would be a great place to do an open announcement, and here's 3 reasons why. And what I thought Sevon has already started his excuses already for not doing the open. Dude, listen, I got a million excuses not to do it. I signed up yesterday thinking I would win something on Pedro's show. I didn't win shit. What I thought was interesting is he's going to give 3 reasons in this video why CrossFit should host the open at his gym. And do you remember the last thing he sent to Dave?
Be right back.
Where he had 3 reasons. I don't know if you remember this, but the last piece of comms. Let me see if I can find it. I can't find it. But the last thing he sent to Dave is he signed that letter from the PFAA that had 3 demands from Dave. And I just like it that Mr. Royce is consistent. You know what I mean? Like I think he wanted like transparency. I think his 3 demands from the PFAA letter he signed was he wanted transparency from CrossFit, and he wanted there to be a liaison between the PFAA and CrossFit, and he wanted Dave to be fired. He had 3, you know what I mean? So he's really big on 3. And I just really like that about him. 3, he's consistent. And now he's giving 3 reasons why the open should be hosted at his gym. And there's this post down here. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? If it's who I think it is, it's from this chick who has this insane body. I don't see it. Someone said, I think someone posted like, hey, aren't you the same dude who asked, oh, I don't even see it. Where is it? Hidden comments? Is it down here? Oh, I thought there was a comment here that said something like, aren't you the dude that asked Dave to be fired? Where are you going? Oh, you're leaving? Because I'm not talking to you? Oh, you just have to be a good co-host and chill. You can't chill? All right. I love you. Bye. Are you mad at me? Oh, good. Okay, I'll come play with you in a little bit. And when I mean play with you, I mean lay on the couch. Bye. My co-host. See ya. Scroll slower. Your son just rated the show as 0 out of 10. I know. What do you mean scroll slower? I mean scroll slower. You sound like my mom. I don't know where that post is. There was a post on here. I think it was from some chick named Porter. Anyway, fuck it. This bit's over. But it was pretty funny. She basically said, hey, aren't you the dude that asked for Dave to be fired? And Mr. Royce responded. He's like, yeah, I am, but they didn't fire him, so here we are. So he's the guy, so I'm addressing him. And then someone else in the chat said, hey, he didn't even write that. Like some guy comes to his defense, but it wasn't even really a defense. It just kind of betrayed Royce. He said, hey, those aren't even Royce words. I wrote the script, which I thought was funny. But I respect him for like I respect him. He's like, all right, I wanted Dave to be gone and he's not gone, so here we are. So fuck it. So I'm just gonna ask him if he'll do the open at my gym. So there's that. All right, that bit's done. Did Kaitlyn Johnson come on yet? Did we have the guest yet? Maybe she's not coming on. All right. I'm going to sit back and relax for a second. Don't mind me.
There's never been a fatherless quarterback to ever win the Super Bowl.
No, I didn't know that.
Ain't that a trip? Nobody even think about that. I looked at the last 50 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, right? And every single one of them had a father in their life. You know?
That makes a difference.
Oh, it does, man. And I'm not knocking single mothers or anything because they can raise good kids and, you know, but having two parents in a household.
Man, that's a whole different ball game right there because you come with balance.
Yeah, it adds the stability, discipline, and accountability. I mean, the kid grew up with structure.
Yes, exactly.
And you need that structure as a quarterback.
Yeah, that's important for the mental game.
Yeah, because the quarterback is a position of leadership. You got to have composure, be focused. You got to have qualities. You got to have discipline. The discipline you learn at a young age when you have two parents in the house, you got to have that at quarterback, man. You know, there's
Pat Lang quickly says Mahomes, fatherless, Google. Did Patrick Mahomes grow up with his dad? Mahomes grew up mostly in Tyler, Texas with his white mother after she and his black father separated when their son was 6 years old. That's how good Google has it as. Did Patrick Mahomes and his brother have the same dad? Their parents are Pat Mahomes, a former Major League Baseball pitcher, and Randy Mahomes, who married in the 1990s. During their time together, the Texas native welcomed 2 children. I don't know what any of that means. Don't ruin it, Pat. Why do you got to ruin it? Why does Pat Lang have to ruin everything? Mahomes' dad was not there his entire life. Shit, not even for the formidable years, to tell you the truth. Mahomes' dad's a drug addict. Hey, the rest of this show is boring. I'm just like hanging on for dear life, just for the sake of like I want to go, but I'm just not going to. Like, fuck you. Fuck my back. Fuck your back. Kayvon. How good is Souza that he came in and fixed that Reddit and Sprague. They going after Sprague again on Reddit? Saying he's not the fit dude. He's a beast. He's such a stud. I love James Sprague, and you know what's even better? I'm glad that the games went that way, and I'm glad he's being tried like this. This is fun. What great drama. This is great. Yeah, thank goodness for Souza. It was annoying. Fuck your couch. I'm Rick James. Yeah, that's good, right? Thank you for catching that. I sent you the link in SMS. I don't do SMS. I don't do fucking SMS, Mike McCaskey. Fuck yo, droid. I'm Rick James. I'm doing the open. I signed up yesterday. I'm doing the open. Yeah, SMS. I know. So stupid. Someone asked Pound McCaskey for that. I know what SMS is. Thank you. Droid. Check. Oh, shut it. Oops, I almost just kicked Jethro off. I think this is as close to being drunk as I've ever done a show. Josh Bridges entered a spelling bee. I don't know if you saw that. It's an adult spelling bee.
Oh, potato.
Potatoes?
Spell potatoes.
Potatoes?
Potatoes.
Potatoes?
Potatoes, potatoes.
Yeah, potato is a vegetable. Yeah.
Spell it.
Vegetable. It's a vegetable.
Spell it, spell it.
Spelling. P-A-T-O-T-O. P-A-T-A-T-O. P-A-T-A-T-O. Potato. Potato.
You spelled potato.
Potatoes?
Spell potatoes.
Potatoes?
Potatoes.
Potatoes?
Potatoes, potatoes.
Yeah, potato is a vegetable. Yeah.
Spell it.
Vegetable.
Look at that. It's incredible. Incredible. What is the thing with James Sprague on Reddit? Someone sent me what was it? Like whether you'd rather have a tranny or a Nazi babysit his kids or something like that. And he liked the post or something. Like, good. I mean, what would you rather have, a tranny or a Nazi babysit your kids? I think it's pretty obvious. Would you rather have a pervert or someone who has delusional hatred towards people? Someone who has delusional hatred towards other people, or someone who has delusional hatred for themselves? I mean, if you want to distill it down, I'll take the one that hates other people, especially when it's around their sexuality. Pat, what would you choose? All trannies, are all trannies perverts? Yes, that's true. That is true. Yes, Pat. Yes. Solid, Trish. Very practical. Which one's cheaper? Pat's gonna be like, well, there was this one tranny that wasn't a pervert. Listen, I'll do a tranny that has no arms and no legs and no genitalia in a wheelchair that talks on one of those things that Stephen Hawking was on. James is white, so Nazi probably because his kid would be safe. Oh, there you go. Yeah, hey, that's a good point. Maybe I should rethink my decision. Maybe I should think maybe I should rethink my position. Hey, I'm on the podcast. Can I call you after?
Absolutely.
Okay, bye. Here we go. I don't know who John Reeves is. Is he a comedian? I started following him and invited him on the podcast. Have you guys seen this clip?
What my ailment is.
Right.
And so I am a big guy. And the one benefit that came from this is I don't smoke. And I still do the CrossFit, even though you look at me and you can't tell. But I've been doing it for a while.
Well, that's great.
Yeah,
that's more important really than anything. I would say if I had to choose between one thing that you should do to make yourself healthy, I would say exercise, maybe even over food.
Yeah.
So Joe doesn't know what CrossFit is. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? The implication there is he thinks CrossFit's an exercise. Probably most CrossFitters don't know either that the foundation of the pyramid is nutrition. Are people chiming in on that Reddit thread? Are people like saying that it's bad that he chose Nazi? Did he choose Nazi? Never mind. I'm sorry I asked. Here we go. Let's play this again.
What my ailment is.
Right.
And so I am a big guy. And the one benefit that came from this is I don't smoke. And I still do the CrossFit, even though you look at me and you can't tell. But I've been doing it for a while.
Well, that's great.
Yeah,
that's more important really than anything. I would say if I had to choose between one thing that you should do to make yourself healthy, I would say exercise, maybe even over food.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe it's close. It's real close. Food's probably maybe, but no, you got to exercise too. It's almost, they're almost like cancel each other out.
Megan
or equal rather.
My trainer Megan was telling me that there's a difference between sick care and health care. And I said, what is it? She goes, well, sick care is when you're sick, you go to the doctor. Health care is your exercise, all the things you do to keep yourself healthy. You don't want to be sick.
Right.
And we're not paying attention to the healthcare part.
You're right.
So Megan, his trainer's been definitely listening to Greg, right? Healthcare, sick care. Isn't it great? Isn't it great that this guy is the ambassador for CrossFit on Rogan? I heard he mentioned CrossFit like 3 times on this podcast. I haven't listened to this podcast yet. I think it's a new one. When was this posted? 1 day ago. John Reeves is an Alaskan gold miner who first came to public prominence in 2012 National Geographic docuseries Godfathers. His ongoing search for gold uncovered the remains of thousands of Ice Age animals lying beneath the permafrost on his property. This discovery is featured in the 2019 documentary Boneyard, Alaska. Oh, I guess he got pneumonia. The truth is that if you get your diet right, it's an interesting one. I'm sure Joe knows, or if he doesn't know, eventually it'll get explained to him. Diet is like 99% of it. It's like the whole kit and caboodle. But the reason why exercise is so important is because people like me, they wouldn't have found the importance of diet if they didn't start exercising. And so you're exercising, you get up in the morning and you're struggling to exercise. And at some point you're like, hey, this should be easier than it is. I've been doing it for a long time. Why isn't this getting easier? Those glasses are hurting my head. And, I feel the violence when I put these on. And so you exercise and then eventually you're like, hey, I want to get better at exercising. I want to get better at these movements. I want to get better, become a better athlete. And so then you're like, oh, I should just exercise. I should just eat better. And then you come full circle and you're like, shit, if I just eat great, I'm 99% of the shit issues go away. The downside is to getting stronger is the weights get so much heavier. No, this one. Permafrost isn't real. The Earth is only 6,000 years old. I know what you're doing. And don't make fun of. Listen, it is the 99-yard line. Everyone gets it. It is the 99-yard line. I don't want to hear it's the 1 yard. Stop. All right. What other dumb shit can I say? Oh, this story's great. You guys want to see? You guys have to have seen this story. This story's so fantastic. This story. This story warms my heart. This one's great. I think this is like that website Omegle. I don't know what this is, but this Jewish guy just goes on and meets people and talks to them on the internet. And he comes across these 2 nurses in Australia. This is amazing. Here we go.
Oh, shit. How are you, man? Good, how are you, my man?
Pretty good. Are you a nurse, a doctor?
I'm a doctor, my man.
A doctor? For what?
In hospital. What about you? Where are you from?
I'm from Israel, from the Holy Land.
You know what? I'm going to be really honest with you.
All right.
I'm going to be really honest with you. You actually got a really, really beautiful eyes.
Thank you,
but
man.
I'm so upset that you're Israeli. Like, eventually you're going to get killed and you're going to go to Jahannam, inshallah. Like, these pretty eyes, they should...
You're Israeli. Eventually, you're going to get killed and go to Jihada Mahala. Sounds like a Indian restaurant. Jihada Masala. You're going to get killed and go to Jihada Masala. That's what the doctor tells him.
To stay in this world for longer.
Why do you think? Why do you think I'm gonna get killed?
It's Palestine's country, not your
Hello,
country. You piece
how
of
are you?
shit.
What's your name?
One day,
One day.
your time will come and you will die the most. Listen to me.
peace,
Listen to me.
and you spread
when your
death.
time comes.
How are you, doctors? Wait.
I want you to remember my face.
Okay,
so you
okay.
can understand
Gotcha.
That you will
I have
die
a question
the most
though.
disgusting death.
All right, for sure. I have a question.
She spit on him. When your time comes, you'll remember my face and you'll die the most disgusting death. And she went, these people have never met before. This is just some random, like, you know, something on the internet where you just randomly talk to people. And a doctor and a nurse just blast this dude. But listen, you haven't even gotten to the crazy part yet. This story goes on and on, Mike. Mike McCaskey, you're gonna love this story. Turn them into the Australian licensing board. Oh, you just wait. This shit is crazy. Black people couldn't handle this type of racism.
Question though. I have a question. Let's say an Israeli. God forbid.
I won't treat them.
He doesn't even get to finish. He says, let's say an Israeli, and you know what he's going to say. And the nurse says, I wouldn't treat them. I wouldn't treat them. He was going to say, hey, what if an Israeli comes into your hospital?
I'll kill them.
You'll kill?
She said, I'll kill them. I wouldn't treat them. I'll kill them.
Damn. So if an Israeli is in Australia and God forbid something happened to him and he comes to your hospital, would you kill him?
You have no idea how many Israeli Khara dog came to this hospital and I sent him to Jahannam.
You have no idea how many Israeli dogs have come to this hospital, and that's the international sign for kill someone, by the way. You use your thumb and you go like this. And just, the slitting the throat. And then he said, Allah shala shala malakam.
I literally sent him to Jahannam.
He sends them to Shahalam. He sends them to Shahalam. David Weed, may this hate never find me. Yeah, me too. So what happens? What happens to those people, right? I mean, what happens to those people? So you go on the Google and you start searching, start Googling around, and this is what you find. That's a great line, by the way, David. Kill them. Workers in NSW health uniforms claim they won't treat Israelis in sickening video. That's kind of an understatement. They said they would treat them. They would kill them. That's a kind of treatment. A nurse filmed on an anti-Semitic tirade, a nurse and doctor, is reportedly sorry for her remarks and has been experiencing extreme panic in the wake of the controversy. She's experiencing extreme panic? A Sydney nurse who bragged about sending Israeli patients to hell in a sickening clip leaked online. An Afghani refugee who recently became an Australian citizen. Ahmad Rashad Nadir and his female colleague, who has been identified as Sarah Abu Lebdeh from Bankstown Hospital, were both stood down. I don't know what that means. Stood down. What does that mean? They were stood down. God damn it. Oh, I have to stretch my back. Fucking A. Ahmad Rashad Nadir and his female colleague, who has been identified as Sarah Abu Lebdeh from Bankstown Hospital, were both stood down after they made the vile comments during a stream with a Jewish influencer in Israel. Mr. Nadir previously fled from Afghanistan to Australia with his family as a teenager and worked 1 day a week at an Observatory Tower Medical Center in Sydney's CBD and Bankstown Hospital. So imagine they leave their countries where the Muslims are just fucking raping and pillaging little boys and girls, and they come to this country, but they want to keep spreading their shit. According to social media, he became an Australian citizen 4 years ago. According to the medical center's website, Mr. Nadir comes from a background in the hospital and emergency nursing and assists our doctors with a broad range of clinical duties. The clinic has since scrubbed his name from its website. Police confirmed detectives had interviewed the hospital staff and identified where the video was believed to have been filmed. Hey, just so you know, if this would have happened in the UK, they wouldn't have gone after these guys because it would have been considered racist. Nurses are sorry for their remarks. Mr. Lebdet is reportedly sorry for her remarks. Oh, Miss Lebdet is reportedly sorry for her remarks and has been experiencing extreme panic in the wake of the controversy. A man identifying himself as her uncle told the Australian on Wednesday afternoon, "I'm trying to calm her down and see what the fuck happened," he said outside her home. "She's been a nurse for God knows how long. She's never done anything to hurt anyone." Well, that's not true. That's a fucking lie. The apology came after family members confronted Australian journalist Liam Mendes in heated scenes. Miss Lebdet is believed to have graduated with a diploma of nursing 5 years ago and has been working at the NSW Health since February 2021. Her uncle insists that she posed no threat to Israeli patients. That's a lie. She would never be a threat. That's a lie, he said, claiming she will come out and make a statement in time. "You can't talk to her now because she's having a panic attack and anxiety attack. We might be calling an ambulance for her." Meanwhile, Mr. Nadir's lawyers say he had given a sincere apology to the entire Jewish community. Dude, no one cares, dude. He understands what happened. He's trying to make amends with what has happened. He has never appeared before the court in relation to any criminal matters. He is a person of prior good character. No, he's not. He apologized for the action. He's apologized for his words, whether he had the mental capacity at the time of an alleged offense to commit an offense, that is a matter for the courts. Dude, this is insane. So, pretty nasty, right? Pretty nasty, right? Now, just listen. This is why this culture, this is a crazy culture these people come from.
Because he's like, dude, I want to still fight. He's 54 years old. He's this old dude.
This is episode 225 of the Mike Ritland podcast. Hamas torture body cam footage. These monsters filmed it all. You guys have never heard anything like this, what you're about to hear.
And they're like, hey, how about Ellie's team? He's like, Ellie's, who's that? Who are those guys? He goes, oh, trust me, they're squared away. That's the team you want to go to war with. And so he becomes my teammate. And as we're fighting together, I say, hey, bro, what happened on those days? Like, fill me in, some of the stuff you had to see. And like, I want to know what they did. Because I'm not watching this stuff online, but I'm more than willing to listen and hear. I don't want to have the images in my eyes.
So he's asking someone who's seen the body cam footage, what did you see?
He says, well,
this is October 7th, people. This is what happened when they barged into these kibbutzes, what you're about to hear.
He says, here's what I witnessed. Took the body cam of one of these guys that we killed. And he goes, these monsters filmed it all. Gleefully filmed it all.
They're not monsters, they're men. Remember that. These are just human men.
They took a young couple who had a baby, and they tied the couple forearm to forearm so they couldn't get away from the other spouse. And then they started to slowly take their time and torture them to death. Cut her off.
They cut her tits off while he was tied to his wife.
Did all kinds of other humiliating things to her. gouged the husband's eye out. More humiliating, awful things. Because again, I'm just going to give the light of what happened. And they said, and before they off them, after hours of them, they took their little baby and put it in her and brought them alive for them both to witness.
Cut off their genitalia, gouged their eyes out, took their baby, put it in an oven right in front of them, and turned the oven on.
The screaming baby and forced them to watch their baby by being in their own oven, and then they finished them. That's one case, one of hundreds of these civilians that were brutally murdered, tortured.
And then college students around the world took to the streets. I know, I can't handle it either. Hey, dude, that's a culture. That's a culture. That's not an isolated incident. Those are just men who live in Gaza. That's not that everyone there is trained to have that attitude towards the Israelis. That's a culture. Now just imagine Netanyahu sitting in his office and he sees body cam footage like this that goes on for hours and hours and hours. They don't get the land back, guys. They don't get the land back. They don't get it back. They don't. None of those dudes. No one gets to live. No one on that team gets to live. The whole team got to go. I don't know if it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you that's the way. That's the rules of the game. I'm not justifying that if you drop a heavy ball, a 50-pound D-ball out of an airplane at 20,000 feet, that it comes to the earth. I'm not justifying whether it's fair, deserved, or should or shouldn't happen. It just happens. And so people don't understand this. They're like, oh, there's a genocide in Gaza, or the Israelis are murderers, or like, hey, dude, like, fine, call it whatever you want. That ball is coming down to the earth. That's just the way it is. It's like just a matter of it's a matter of fact. It's just what happens when you drop a ball out of an airplane. And you fucking go into someone's house, cut open the woman's stomach, throw the baby in the oven, chop off the man's penis, chop off the woman's tits, make them watch all that shit. Then the survivors of those people, they fucking rage holy hell on you. And so it's not even worth. It's at this point. It's like not even worth. Once you start seeing all of that and you see that culture, it's like, all right, you get it. Your best bet is to just step aside. It's like you're in your house and there's a gang fight in the middle of the street, and you could go outside and be like, hey, you're stomping on my lawn, or I'm trying to sleep. Probably not a good idea. You probably should just stay out of it. Let the two gangs fight in front of your house so your car gets scratched, or you can't sleep that night because there's gangs fighting. But you don't go out there. It's probably better just to chill. These aren't isolated incidents. The entire population is trained to behave like that towards Israelis. You see that even the people in Australia, like, you can make the connection. You're like, oh, that's their culture. All right. I love this lady, Riley G. Barker, but I want you to see this and let the debate rage. This is very interesting. Nike profits off of fake feminism. I agree. Nike's complete scumbags.
See Nike's Super Bowl commercial. You can't be demanding. You can't be relentless. You can't put yourself first. So put yourself first. You can't be confident, so be confident. You can't challenge, so challenge. You can't dominate, so dominate. You can't flex, so flex. You can't feel a statement, so feel that statement. You can't be emotional, so be emotional. You can't take credit. You can't.
All this bullshit they're projecting that like women are oppressed or blah blah blah, and like people are saying women can't do stuff and blah blah. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Everyone says that about everyone. They're basically, you've heard the term race baiting. They're basically just sexism baiting, just like whatever.
You can't be so ambitious. You can't have these buckets make you man proud. You can't stand out. Whatever you do, you can't win. So win.
I mean, we had no. This isn't fucking 1952 anymore. No one gives a shit. You're just people now. You've lost women. You can't you can't leverage that anymore.
First impression, I love this commercial, but then I remembered him.
I don't. That's the part I understand. I don't. Like, hey, why not just show women doing powerful shit, and that's it? Why do you have to make it us against them? They fabricate a us against them. There is no us against them. Those are just bad bitches. There is no. Don't fabricate it. There's nothing like. No one's like, well, imagine if Serena Williams was a guy. Everyone's like, no, she's fucking a bad bitch. What a great tennis player. So stupid commercial, but so Miss Barker's wrong there or whatever. Miss Riley, I like her.
Made the commercial and their treatment of women, or should I say their mistreatment of women throughout history. Y'all remember what Nike did to this woman, Allison Felix, a 7-time Olympic champion? She was sponsored by Nike, and when she got pregnant, Nike cut her endorsement deal by 70%, literally telling her to know her place and just run.
Yeah. What the fuck is wrong with that? Can someone explain that to me? You got fucking pregnant. I pay you to go to because I want you to showcase my shoes on the track, and then you get pregnant and you can't do that. You can no longer perform the job, and I'm going to pay you the same amount of money. That makes no fucking sense at all to me. I really tried to think of it. Like I'm all for more and more as I get older and older, having a society that's like, like there's a law. I think I remember there was a law when my wife was pregnant. If a pregnant woman asks to use a bathroom at a facility, at any like private owned facility, you have to say yes. So like if you go into like a clothing store and they don't have a public restroom and your wife says, hey, can I use the bathroom? And they're pregnant. I think by law, I think California, they have to let her use the bathroom. I'm like, I'm cool with that. I don't know why, but I am. I'm like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, let the pregnant women use. And I don't know. I don't know. I haven't thought it through, but let's say you're a business and you have more than 50 employees and one of your employees gets pregnant. You have to pay them 2 months maternity leave. Like, okay, like just on the surface, yeah, I'm good with that. Or 4 months or whatever. Like, I'm good with that. I'm for supporting. I'm for that. Like as a civilization, the same way you don't leave your trash cans in front of your mailbox because you don't want the postwoman or postman to have to get out of their car. It's supposed to be easy for them to go up and just put the mail in the box. I'm for like doing my civil duties as a civilization. But you have a fucking contract to do a performance and you get pregnant and and Barker's upset because they've reduced her pay. I can't believe they didn't just kick her off. Can someone explain that to me? I want to agree with her. I just don't see it. They're a fucking business trying to make money. And we already know they're scumbags of the highest order. Don't forget, they made all their employees take the injection. We know they sex bait. It's always men against women or black against white. We saw what they did with Colonel Kaepernick. The getting hired than getting pregnant is quite the deal in the fire service in Cali. Yeah, I hired this chick, this Asian chick, to work at CrossFit. And within a month, she got fucking pregnant, and I found out she did that on purpose. And I think she ended up suing us or something. I think she got paid like a year. She worked there a month, got pregnant, and then I don't remember what worked, but basically it was in her plan the whole time. Get a job, get pregnant, and fucking milk us for a year's worth of pay. Colonel Kaepernick. I don't know. Let me see. Are there any women or anyone who wants to unfuck me on this? Like, so what if they fucking cut her pay by 70%? I can't believe they didn't just fire her. Like, you're fucking pregnant. You can't perform the duties.
You can see here in her Instagram post where she said she would wake up at 4:30 a.m. 5 months pregnant to train so she could continue hiding it from Nike. So
Wah. Wah.
she started her own shoe company, and just 2 years later, she qualified for her 5th Olympic Games with her daughter watching in the stands.
Cool. Awesome. Great story. So many things to talk about, talk shit on Nike, but not paying someone for not being able to perform their duties. Rick Bennett. Hi. If she was pregnant a month after starting, that means she was probably already a month pregnant when she started and didn't know it. Oh, you mean the chick I hired? I think I ended up finding out that she knew the whole time or something. That it was like it got leaked to me that she had planned the whole thing. And then you know what I think happened? There was something. There's more to the story. There's more to the story. Maybe I'll ask someone who worked with me at that time and figure out the whole thing.
Nike wants to talk about women's empowerment. Then what is this?
Yeah, this shit. Yeah, stick to that shit, Riley. I don't know. Maybe she was a Nike athlete for 10 years and that would put it in perspective. But someone can't perform the duties. Imagine Usain Bolt. I don't know, breaks his leg and can't compete in the Olympics, and his performance in the Olympics was vital to the sponsorship deal. Do you think they should still pay him? And I know having a baby's different. That's what I mean. I mean, I'm all for supporting. I know women are different than men and men are different than women. And so the civilization should use common sense and take care of them as individuals. But it's fucking Nike. I mean, they're just a full fucking shoe selling, money making machine. That's the cool thing about them, right? So if you can't pull your weight there, you don't get to stay there. Sean, Nike has the money to pay her, just do an ad while she's pregnant, empowering pregnant women. I mean, great fucking solution, dude. Great solution. Mike McCaskey, strippers do just fine while pregnant. You could easily make money off a pregnant chick. Yeah, launch a new. That's yeah, you're right. I like that. Now you're thinking launch a new shoe line for pregnant women. Teresa, maternity leave should have something in contract. Carpenter loses a thumb. I knew a guy who was a carpenter, a great carpenter, and he had the most insane wood shop, massive. And he made the most expensive pieces. He made like custom fireplace mantles and all this crazy shit out of wood. He could do anything. And he was killing it. And he just bought this fat house. And then about 6 months after he bought the fat house, he was moving a huge like 12 by 12 piece of lumber, and his shoulder went out. And he lost the house. Couldn't work and lost the house. True story. True story. All right. We did a open promo, so I get paid by CrossFit. Money laundering. All the dough shit is so fun, isn't it? I guess Elon announced, I just saw a headline that they're going to start investigating really high worth individuals who work for the federal government, people who came in poor and are leaving rich. And I guess that would put Pelosi and Elizabeth Warren on the top of the list. That should be fun. Baby Street Coffee. It's like being paid to compete at the most viewed event in your sport and then choosing not to compete in that sport and move to another new sport, not to be transparent to your sponsors and expect your sponsors to be chill about it. It's like being paid to compete at the most viewed event in your sport and then choosing not to compete in that sport and move to another new sport, not to be transparent to your sponsors and expect your sponsors to be chill about it. Yeah, very well said. Pat Lang. Dearest Sevy. Good morning, Gabe. How stoked are we that the Eagles won? Pat Lang, Sevy. Hey, that's I'm so happy that the Eagles won. Sevy. Oh, I'm gonna fuck you up here, dude. You ready for this? I did the math on this already. You're gonna love this. Elon makes $8 million a day from the federal government, $3 billion in contracts. Think they'll look into those deals? So, when they presented that news story, they were talking about. You're gonna have to help me here, ass pound you, Pat. That story was presented, and they said at that time, who is getting $65 a day? They compared the 8 million a day. Help me out here, Pat. Help me ass pound you. They compared the 8 million a day Elon makes to the $65 a day. Oh, is it that people get paid for Social Security? Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I quickly looked up how many people work for Elon Musk, how many people he employs. And the low estimate was 128,000. So I divided 128,000 into 8 million. And it ends up being $62 a day. Less than what people get paid for Social Security. And here's the thing. Here's the thing, dude. I don't care about the people on Social Security. I just want to make sure that $3 billion is being justly used. Hey, but I do. But dude, do the quick math. Social Security doesn't employ anyone. He employs 128,000 fucking people a year. And so even if he was using that money unjustly, which I hope he's not, I agree with you, that's only $62 a day per person. And dude, and you know that money, that's really shitty math I'm doing. And I know that there's a lot of presuppositions I'm making, but even to defend him even more, think about he doesn't get to keep that money. He pays fucking crazy taxes on that money. Crazy taxes. He's the highest taxpayer in the United States. He pays more taxes than any other person in the United States. And so, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. And yes, I don't. Is all of that money being justly used? No, of course not. When dude, it's like this. If you're gonna deploy 8 billion injections into human beings, people are gonna die from it. It's just gonna happen, dude. It's arguable that if you have to deploy 8 million injections to people on the planet, that 200 people are going to die in car accidents driving to go get those injections, right? So let's say you're like, let's get everyone a COVID injection. You have to assume 200 people are going to die just in car accidents, just driving to the hospital, right? All over the planet. So yes, if Elon's getting 3 billion a year, yeah, there's some money fucking being unjustly used. You're right. Injections have nothing to do with what we're talking about. Of course they don't. Not even a little bit. Why would you even bring that up? I was saying in context of relativity to just things, putting things in perspective of like, you have this sweeping statement that you can't say that the vaccine is just going to be 100% safe when you know people are going to, and even if it is, and everyone's deployed perfectly, you have to still know, yes, some people are going to die. There's things outside your control. Some people are going to fucking die driving to the hospital. And that's the exact thing I'm saying to you. If you're going to give $3 billion to someone and think that every penny is going to be accounted for perfectly, there's no fucking way. It's $3 billion. There's going to be some mistakes. So then you would say to me on the injection thing, you'd have to be like, well, but 100,000 people are going to have their lives saved from getting the injection. So those 200 people who died, it's a net win. And I'm telling you the same thing with Elon. The amount of corruption that probably happens with his $3 billion, I would like to believe and think is significantly less, or just things that just happen on accident. Rounding errors, decimals in the wrong place, shit like that. And not just fucking mass corruption for $50 million worth of condoms being bought sent to Mozambique. And then when they say, well, it's Mozambique and there's a big AIDS problem there, does anyone even go and look? How many people die from AIDS in Mozambique? Everyone just assumes, since they're black people living in Africa, that they all have AIDS and they need condoms, and no one says anything. In 2022, 48,000 people died from AIDS in Mozambique. And listen, then you got to ask yourself, could that $50 million be, how many of those people's lives are going to be saved from those condoms? Maybe none. Yo, what's up, dude?
Hey, yo, dude, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, as a former government employee, I worked for Social Security
Hold
for
on
over
1
10
second.
years.
Hold on 1 second. There you go again.
Sure.
50 million condom thing is all fake news. No, it's real news. And I schooled you on it already by saying it was Mozambique and not Gaza. You douche canoe. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Is that Pat saying that it's fake news?
Yeah.
Sometimes, Pat, you got to substantiate your claim sometimes, Pat. You can't just say that's fake news. What is that based on? How is that fake? You can't just say things and be like, oh, I'm right and you're wrong. Like, it doesn't work that way.
And hey, and I don't care whether it's being sent to Mozambique or Gaza. I don't want 50 million in condoms being sent, period.
Right. That's the whole point. Doesn't matter if it's sent to Jupiter. It should not be done. It's period. End of story. As a former employee, though, of Social Security, I'll give you one example. I used to work on like fraud cases and things like that. It was just part of the job. And we had this gentleman come in complaining about issues with his parents not getting their SSI checks. Well, his parents were from Africa. We had exclusive categories of like age as well. And both of them were over 90 and they fell into this certain category. Well, what happened is he never reported to us. No one ever reported to us that his parents both moved back to Africa basically to die there because that's where they're from. Since it was never reported, this happened, let's say, I don't remember the exact years, but let's say they moved back and they died in 2015. He comes in like 2018 or so. It's been years claiming that he's not getting their SSI check. Something's wrong, right? So this fraud investigation is opened up and I'm a part of it. And long story short, they had gone to Africa, died. And for 3 years, this gentleman had been cashing their checks and gambling and doing all sorts of nonsense with it. And anyone that wants to argue that that's isolated or that doesn't happen a lot, you're deceiving yourself. It is an epidemic. Every day I would see something where it's like, what? We've been paying thousands of dollars to whoever, and they shouldn't have been getting it. Someone had already passed away, just crazy stuff like that. It needs to be cleaned up. It has to be cleaned up. We're seeing it being done. And what's really cool is Elon will, love him or hate him, he'll acknowledge that he's going to make some mistakes along the way.
Yeah, isn't that great when he says that too? I love it when he says that. He goes, "Hey, dude, I'm going to make mistakes. Yes, we're going to make mistakes." Yeah, I love it.
And to make an omelet, you got to crack them eggs. I know it's corny and cheesy, but it's the truth.
No,
to
it's the
clean
truth.
something up, you have to kind of tear it down. To fix somebody's squat, you got to kind of tear it down and then build it back up. All right, and so in this case, it needs to be torn down. All of what we're seeing happen is absolutely beautiful. You can argue some things are silly, maybe naming the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America. I like it. I think he's doing it for a reason, drilling purposes and things like that. But, all of that is a distraction to what he's actually doing. And then they want to character assassinate somebody like Elon. Well, we don't like him because of I don't care. I don't know the guy. I don't know him enough to like him, and I don't care what the news says about him. He's been hired to do a job. They're doing a really good job as a former government employee. I applaud the crap out of them doing it. Clean it up. It's disgusting.
It's awesome. He's awesome. Sean Lenderman, Elon is Christ. I agree. Elon is the second coming.
He's the second coming.
Yes.
Also, dude, you had this beautiful former swimming, CrossFit doing 35-year-old, whatever the heck she was, lady, and you said you don't have any single friends. Are you kidding me?
I'm sorry. I know that was stupid.
My
Sorry.
God. I mean, I probably don't stand any chance. But
Milwaukee's
I mean,
Milwaukee's a great town, Kaitlyn. Milwaukee's a great town.
I mean, the suburbs, yeah, but not this. Don't. If she comes here, I will keep her away from the city. But I'm just saying, man, you got an eligible chick like that, and you got your single. I thought we were friends. Single friend over here in Milwaukee.
Yeah,
put in the good word, dude.
I'm sorry, I fucked that up.
And lastly, have you hung from a pull-up bar? We talked about this.
I did. The first day,
Healed
my back.
so much.
You mean upside down?
No. Just no, not like Batman. I mean, you could, I guess, if you have the capability of doing that. But I'm just saying, like, straight arms overhead, hang from a pull-up bar 20 to 30 seconds, rest a minute, do that like a handful of times. I mean, literally every day you could do that, and it's gonna fix so many shoulder and back issues. It's crazy.
Yesterday, you know what's crazy is my wife, right before I went to bed, my wife walked me through this like back meditation where I lay on my back and I do these really subtle movements. And I could just totally feel my spine settling. It was crazy. I could actually hear the cracking. She could hear the cracking. And and then Sousa called me and FaceTime with me and walked me through rolling out something on my hip. I put a tennis ball up, or not a tennis ball,
cross ball or foam ball?
Yeah, lacrosse ball up against a wall. And actually after I did that, I got some relief. But it's fucking bad. You know what it feels like? You know that feeling when your back, your legs, and your torso feel like they're just like attached to by a string? Like you have no strength there. You can't control. That's what I lost you. That's what it feels like. It feels like my torso and back aren't like on the same team. My torso and legs.
I used to have that quite a bit back in the day.
I haven't had it
like
forever.
Super sciatic, crazy, like debilitating pain. Probably around the time I discovered CrossFit in like 2011, 2012. And then shortly after that, I discovered, because of that pain, I discovered Kelly Starrett. And I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? Put a lacrosse ball in this and like stick a foam roller in your butt. And it's just like, dude, what is this? And then I started doing it. And I noticed that if I could get my, damn it, no, of course I forget the muscles in like at the top of your thighs where they meet your hips. What are those called? Whatever those are called. If I can loosen those up, whether it's a foam roller, a lacrosse ball, even a deep tissue massage, it alleviates so much of the back pain that I'm having. So yeah, foam roller or a lacrosse ball in that area should do the trick, man. And some BPC 157. I don't know why you're not taking that shit.
Hopefully it goes away
tomorrow. You get it for free.
Hopefully it goes away tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully. Obviously you're not working out then, right? So that just makes everything worse.
I sat on the couch all day yesterday with a heating pad. I got up like just 5 times to take a piss. I ended up eating a steak.
Fuck. That sucks. Well, hopefully it does go away and you can get back to, good interviews and shit like that.
All right. Thank you, dude.
All right. Love you. Peace.
Bye. All right. I've been doing I did a lacrosse ball so fucking hard that this morning I was bruised everywhere. Most back pain comes from weak core. You know what's crazy too is that you say that. I don't even have any control of my core right now. It's like gone. Like whatever the wire that connects the core to my brain, it's like been snipped. All right. Thanks for hanging in there with me. It'll be fine in a couple of days. I just overdid it. What's crazy though is I've never had my back go out just like I can't tell you what I did. I didn't do anything. Did you guys see that Minnesota she congresswoman? That whatever their congresswoman is, I think she married her brother to get him in the country. Did you guys see that? Thought I had a clip of that somewhere. I don't see it. I keep wanting to show you guys that. Oh, yeah, Ilhan Omar. Yeah, that thing. Igor Omar. I think that thing married his brother. I think that thing was married to 2 men at the same time. I was over at Liz Collins' Instagram account yesterday, and it looks like they got boys entering women's hockey in Minnesota now, too. It's crazy. All right. Oh. All right. Thank you. So as really. Oh, what is this? So many videos and things to do. All right. Thanks. I will see you guys. What is today? Thursday? Is today Thursday? I don't even know what the fuck today is. February 13th. Thursday, February 13th. Yeah, Thursday. I think I see you guys tomorrow. God, I hope we don't have a interview tomorrow. I gotta get. Oh yeah. It says I have a 1 p.m. call with Sousa tomorrow. Tomorrow maybe I'm gonna do like 2 shots of NyQuil while I'm on the show. Oh, that's awesome. I already feel like a stress relief not knowing I have a guest. Thanks, guys. You guys, in these times of need and sorrow and pain. Sousa's in 20 minutes? I thought his show was on Tuesdays. Oh, shit. Is Sousa on the CrossFit podcast today? This is crazy. Hey, dude. Wow. Okay, I got to take a piss. I'll be right back. Hold on. I'm going to take a piss and be right back. We have to kind of talk about this because I don't know if CrossFit's ever done a live podcast before. This is going to be crazy. All right, I'll be back in 90 seconds. Hang tight. Let's talk about this.
Because of CrossFit, I've been able to become a mom, and that's not something I ever expected to do. Every endometriosis diagnosis is different, but there was a time in my life where it was really bad. I couldn't bring groceries in without being in pain. I couldn't hold my husband's hand without triggering chronic nerve pain, and I gave up that dream of becoming a mom because I knew that with endometriosis I was going to struggle with fertility and didn't want to risk being that kind of mom that wasn't present physically for my daughter when those inflammation flare-ups happen. And me and my husband went through the process of grieving and accepting that. The main priority was like my quality of life and can I manage the inflammation and not be in pain. I actually started CrossFit as like a last resort because the other options of surgery or narcotics, it just didn't sound like a viable solution for me without accepting some of the long-term damage that would come with that. And so just decided, you know what, I'm just going to try CrossFit and see what can be done. And it slowly helped build up a lot of strength and helped manage my anxiety and my hormones. Little did I know, as I was improving my health over the years, that my body was going to become fit enough to become pregnant. It made it possible for me to have her, because here she is.
How great is Two Brain Business? Run an affiliate. They're your people. Matt Souza. Let me call Matt and see what's going on. Oh, I don't even know I think this is CrossFit's first live podcast. CrossFit.
Yo.
Training. Hey, are you going on the CrossFit training podcast?
Yeah, like 19 minutes.
Yeah,
It's at 10.
That's crazy.
I know. Should be a good time though. I'm excited for it.
Hey, you should go live on the Sevon Podcast Instagram.
Oh, and promote it?
Fuck yeah. This is crazy. This is so cool.
Or let it run live while I'm doing the show.
No, I would say just promote it.
I know. I always hate doing that though. It seems so self-serving.
No, because I mean, if people want to go see, I mean, remember what Chris Cooper told us? Hey, always come to me with offers. If I want to say no, I'll say no.
Yeah, that's very true. They did CrossFit Training's Instagram actually posted it in their stories with a link and tagged me in the Sevon Podcast Instagram.
Oh, that's crazy. And it's a massive account.
I know, right? I'll probably lose 5 followers. No.
Subscribe all. Okay. And this is, oh shit, this YouTube channel already has 12,000 subscribers.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. They were stagnant for a little bit, but it seems like it's grown a little bit more recently.
Who's the host of this? Do you know?
Yeah, it's going to be Melanie.
Do I know
She's
her?
head of education content.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Wow. It's going to be, this is cool. She should be ready. I mean, because our crew's kind of cantankerous.
Yeah, I mean, she asked, she's like, so do you want to do this live or like, what are you more comfortable with? And I strongly suggested we do it live because I said it would be awesome to be able to interact with some of the audience. Like I know people that watch the show will most likely watch this as well. And so she was game for it.
Wow, this is good. Do you know what you're going to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, at first she contacted me kind of just about the fire service, like how that, how that program started and just different questions around that. But as we got talking, there was she realized there was a lot more meat on the bone. So I don't know where she's going to take it. But essentially the general theme is you need to start selling your expertise all over the place. Like you can't just be inside a gym looking for, jobs inside of a gym or coaching just inside the gym in order to grow as a coach and to grow as an affiliate. You have outside of those walls and really learn how to package what you know to present it to the person in front of you.
God, this is cool. I can't believe how far we've come in our relationship with HQ.
I know. Can you believe I'm making $100,000 for this show too?
Yeah. It's great being on the payroll.
Oh man, it's not going to affect your $1 million out of the open cut either. They told me it was a separate deal. So
thank you. All right, dude, this is cool. That's awesome. I'm going to do a shot of NyQuil and get my back on a heating pad and watch this.
All right. Have you tried that lacrosse ball anymore? Is it not really working?
No, it worked, but I turned, like you said don't overdo it and turn it into what'd you call it?
Minced meat.
Yeah, and I basically did that. My hip and my it's all bruised all around that area. I mean, not physically, visually bruised, but when I touch it, it's all beat up.
Yeah, it's probably overdid a little bit. Super tender.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I was almost thinking there might even be a way I could swing coming out there.
It should just go away. I just need to stop. I just need to just chill. I just need to breathe. I just need to relax. At this point, the pain's just making me hold it tighter.
Right. And the time in the chair probably doesn't help it either. Does it hurt when you get up? Like when you stand up, is it just fuck?
Yeah, when I stood up just now to take a piss, there were every once in a while, it's remember in the Roadrunner cartoon when the coyote swallows the jackhammer?
Yeah.
Every once in a while, it's zzz, zzz, that's the way I walk. Every once in a while, I'm zzz, zzz, I get shocks all over.
Sucks. Hey, how did that wheel walk thing happen this morning?
I have no idea.
That was so weird. And luckily, who saved the day was Haley.
Oh, wow.
Because I didn't because I didn't know when you had said the thing about that text and that other thread. I didn't really get. I didn't understand what you were saying, and I was like going into the gym. I had the fire department this morning, and Haley sent me another text, and she's like, "Hey, are you watching the show? There's something that's continuously playing in the background. Sevon doesn't know how to get it off there." And I was like,
that's
"What?"
Cool. That's cool.
So right when I finished the firefighters, I saw that text in between. I had about 10-minute buffer in between the next thing.
Yeah.
And so that's when I was like, what? And I saw it and I was like, oh shit. And then I didn't realize because I'm signed into StreamYard on my phone, it immediately brought me in on screen.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
I was hoping it would like sit in the corner.
Oh yeah,
and
I saw you
would
pop
never
in.
even
I saw
notice
you
it.
pop in between us.
I know. I was like, this is going to be subtle. I'm just going to jump in and do it. And right as I hit the button, it loads, and I'm just a fucking turned off camera in between you two. Like,
so what did you
wow.
do? Did you just go to media assets and unclick something?
I couldn't even find out how that would turned on. So in your defense, I don't know how that happened, but I scrolled all the way down to backgrounds and then just double clicked the normal background. And then that's changed it. It went away. Background came up.
All right.
But it didn't work with a single click. So I don't know what I don't know. Might have just been a glitch in the matrix.
All right, cool. So you go live in 13 minutes. All right, we'll be watching.
Yeah. All right. Exciting.
All right, dude. Thank you.
Okay. I'll call you after.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
It's hard to even concentrate when you got fucking electricity firing up your leg. JR did it. No, JR doesn't know how to do that shit. Nyquil's just making you a zombie. Yeah, that's the whole point. Ibuprofen, and what did someone else say? Yeah, of course I'm taking ibuprofen. Big fucking double the fucking recommended dose. Do you have 1,000 milligrams of CBD gummy? No, but you know what I should probably do? I have that CBD cream. I should have my wife put that on my back. I've been taking a huge dose of ibuprofen when I wake up in the morning, and then putting icy hot on my back. That's how and then take a crazy hot shower too. That's how basically I got in here this morning. But now all that shit's worn off, and I'm starting to hurt again. Yeah, NyQuil's fun. I take NyQuil because it's fun, because it's under the bathroom sink. Try to finish the bottle in the next couple of days. All right. Thanks, guys. Remember, 12 minutes, Matt Souza will be on the CrossFit Training YouTube channel. It was easy to find. I just went to YouTube and put in CrossFit Training. And I'll see you guys over there. Bye-bye.